Why, hello? Yeah, where is this sound coming from? Where, do you guys hear that? Did this new update do something weird to me? There was like a new update on, you don't hear it on this end? I have like a freaking, like another stream. Oh my gosh, I think there was an update to, there was an update to OBS, and now I'm hearing like someone else's stream. There's the stream chat. Okay. But why do I... Where is this coming from? There is... Okay, hold on. Hold on, everybody. 1 second. Okay. No, that... not my stream key. So new update for OBS, and whenever you update OBS, you have to like re-sign in sometimes to your to like your I use a Twitch profile to sign into OBS to control like what pops up on OBS so that I can have these different docs that pop up that are useful to me. Like the Twitch activity feed specifically. Or wait, no, not the Twitch one. Where's my other activity? Where did all of my things go? Where did all of my things go? Why? I hate this stuff so much sometimes. Yeah, maybe it is the activity feed, but oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, the for some reason, one of the windows that was supposed to be like the chat window was just a Twitch page, and I exited out of all of them, but I don't, maybe they were still on in the background of OBS or something like that. I don't know. That was weird. That was trippy. Trippiest thing I've seen in a while. Holy crap. Is it Michael? I bet it's Michael. It has to be Michael. John Knight, hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Dragon Ruse, Alfarius, Pop, Soranos. Soranos, if you're kind of whenever you're ready, we can do tier list if you want to wait a little bit before we jump in. I've got reviews to go over for the winter 2023 season, and I know for a fact there's got to be some on here that I haven't updated. Yep, a few things I haven't updated that I've followed up on. So I gotta quick scroll here while I'm talking as though I had things to say so that no one looks too hard at the fact that I'm updating all of my watch lists now and trying to remember everything I watched rather than keeping up with it like a normal human would as they watch a thing and then follow up with, oh, let me just update that. Oh, let me just update that. Let me fix that one. I think that's it. I think I did it. Yeah, okay. All right, there we go. All right, we'll edit this to last updated, and now I can review those. Everyone, we're running a Tanuki sake today. Kampai, let's have some fun tonight. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. I love Tanuki sake. It's one of my favorites. John Knight, you made an anime that I need to watch list. Where did you create said list? Are you is it like a notebook that you have, or are you utilizing a online service like AniList or God forbid my anime list. Kitsu is a decent if you're okay with just using a phone application. Anyway, we're about that later. Let's start with the worst adaptation in the world ever for all time. Oh my goodness. That is not what I wanted to pull up. That's the answer you expect. Exactly. You made a list on your notes app. It's a good place to start. It's a good place to start. Drew. I didn't have this prepped, so give me just a second here. Bingo. All right, everyone. Is SAO progressive decent? Drop the series after boring augmented reality movie. I don't know. For me, the original Sword Art Online was interesting. And what it did is it brought a lot of people into the anime fandom. It created a lot of anime fans. It came out right at the same time as a lot of streaming services started to get on the anime bandwagon. And having been an anime fan since the VHS days, it was really cool to see a lot more people coming in. But the story overall was just very like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And everybody being like, oh man, they could die. And I'm like, yeah, but in in these fantasy shows that I've seen, if they die, they're dead. Like, what's the difference here with Sword Art Online? But at the end of the day, it was a fine, like, yeah, it's good. It's nowhere near as bad as like a Mother's Basement will make you think, and it's nowhere near as good as someone who's slobbing Asuka's knob would lead you on to think. So it lands right dead center. Like, it is a 5 out of 10 type of anime for me. But I really liked Gun Gale Online. Gun Gale Online, when we got to people that didn't have that extra baggage of like, oh, we have to save lives, we got to do things, and they just did something interesting with VR and a VR game and said, hey, what if we had people that used the game as an escape to sort of be something they're not, right? We've got a really tall girl in real life, hates the fact she's tall, she makes an avatar that's really small, and she runs around with her P90 and rocks at the game. Like, it was a ton of fun. It was exactly what a virtual reality type game should encompass. The idea of like getting away, being something else, trying something different, and then succeeding on that, of course, because we have to have some sort of like succeed or some sort of victory in a show or a story. And I think it worked really well. And then after Gun Gale, I was like, yep, that was kind of what I was hoping for from this kind of series, and I never got into progressive. Have I watched Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun? Yes, I am sadly only 3 episodes or 4 episodes into season 3, but I have seen seasons 1 and 2. Shotgun, what is this? What are you sending me? Okay. That is a very period specific pickup on that guitar. That is great. SAO doesn't get any better. Oh, a link. Yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Dragon Ruse. Someday you'll finish SAO. Honestly, not really important. If you saw the first half, you've seen the second half. Gun Gale Online was just fun. GGO was really fun. Spinoff was too. Wait, what's the spinoff? Is there a spin-off of Gun Gale, or are you talking about Gun Gale as a spin-off? SAO is like Nightmare on Elm Street, but with fidget games and 2D booba. Is it like Nightmare on Elm Street? I don't know if that's the one. Welcome back, Dragon News. Awesome. Idema is our favorite grandson. It's true. He's a sweetie. He's the, like, if I can't get more Rosario and Vampire, I'm glad that I at least get Idema-kun, right? Like, I'd rather have more Rosario and Vampire, but I'll take what I can get sometimes when it comes to an anime coming out. So I don't mangle the song. That's the wrong shotgun. If I'm going to sing a song involving shotgun, it's going to be Shotgun! What a nice day for a white wedding. Yeah. Oh, man. Because Billy Idol can do the like his lips are falling off his face as he's like singing his tunes. The show made you go buy an FN57. Ammo prices make you cry every time. I remember when the FN57 and the FN57, like their Mark II or their I forget if they actually designated it as like a second edition came out. And all you could get, it was like, you want ammo for it? Yeah, here you go. It's like at the time it was $1 a round, which is kind of crazy for little tiny handguns, right? And people were like, oh, why is it so expensive? It's like, because all you can get is blue tip. All you get is like hunting OTM rounds. That's all that they import for these guns. All you can get. You can't get normal ball. You want normal ball? I don't know. Learn to cast lead and make your own ball 5.7. All you get is like high quality rounds, polymer filled, open or hollow points. That's all you get. You can't get ball ammo for a 5. And then finally, people started getting it. But there was a long time in the world where it was just like, no, you don't get range ammo. There's no such thing as range ammo for a 5.7. There's only 5.7. You die in the dream, you die for realsies. Die in the game, you die for realsies. Same thing. Hard to argue with the logic. I mean, I remember the SAT. It was like, if this, then that. You know, you can whatever the hell those stupid comparison things were called. It's right there. It's right there. Rosario Vampire is a mid-harem anime? What? Rosario and Vampire is one of the best monster harem animes that there is. Because it's true monsters. Not just like, oh, we made a bunch of creatures. They're monsters. They're like specifically like universal monsters. It's great. It's fantastic. Hold your tongue, Nico. GGO was the second arc, and it was called SAO Alternative Gun Gale Online. Yeah. Wait, no. I thought wasn't the second arc like the Fairyland arc? Whenever I say GGO, I'm... Oh! I see the confusion. Yeah, no, I only care about the alternative one. SAO Alternative Gun Gale Online. That makes more sense. Yeah, the one where... Not the one where Kirito has like a sword in a gun game, but the one where the girl is playing the VR game. That whenever I say GGO, that's what I mean. Just assume pink player with a P90. That'll make sense. Didn't you tell you Dork's haircut was familiar? Exactly. You're on 144p and still buffering. Oh no, I'm sorry. Sorry, your internet sucks is what I really meant. Just kidding. Not gonna lie, you still hate Yuki Ona's song from time to time? Or still hum the Yuki Onna song from time to time? Dude. There is a snowstorm. There is a snowstorm. And oh man, it's such a good song. I love it. I love it so much. I played it on stream one time and immediately that stream when I ended it was like, we're gonna We're gonna, because they can't claim anything on my streams because they're not monetized, but what they do is they just block them in all territories. They're like, you don't get to show your entire stream because you played a minute of our show. And it's like, shut up, why do you suck so bad? Oh man. Yeah, damn you, Nepal. Cambodia, why did you send us Nico? Take back your architect son. Oh man. GGO Kirito was season 2. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Gun Gale Online Kirito was season 2, but then SAO Alternative GGO was Pink P90. That's all I care about. Yo, it's not becoming the popular generic white guy haircut. It is if their barber's Vietnamese. Japan Fairy. Honestly, I don't even think it was Japan. It's always these weird, like every time somebody strike, or I say strike, but I've only had one strike in the past. But anytime somebody wants to like claim a video, it's always like an Indian company, like in India, or like it goes back to like Pakistan. It's like, who are these people? Why are they incorporated in the other side of the world entirely and trying to like stop me from even saying anything? It's like they're not even taking money. They're not. They're just like, no, you don't get to say anything. It's like, why? Did you even look at it and see like what I was saying? If I'm like, wow, this is the greatest thing of all time, like just let it be. If I was like, never watched this and I was damaging like your brand in any way, okay, yeah, sure. Maybe you've got an argument that they could say that, and I'd be like, no, it's fair use. And then YouTube would be like, I don't know about that. And I'm like, shut up, YouTube. But like, just to immediately block videos is so insane. Better than a man bun? Yeah. Yeah, leave the generic white guy haircut alone. There's millions of us. Yuki Ono was best girl in Rosario Vampire. You know it. You and I both know it. Can't believe T-Series blocked Blaine for streaming anime. Might as well have been T-Series. Bitch lasagna. No, it was not. It was not bitch lasagna. All right, let's talk about it because it's a very special day today. It's MLK Jr. Day. Or MLK Day, as we say. Here's a beautiful picture. It's a beautiful picture. Look how happy Martin is. Martin Luther King Jr., his wife, Coretta. They're like, yeah, I did it. I won a Nobel Peace Prize. A black man has won a Nobel Peace Prize. And I did it with peace and love. Say what you will about MLK and his thoughts and his ideas, and you know, you get some people that are like, well, actually, historian. It's like, shut up. Shut up. We don't care. We don't care about like your version of the history of MLK. The fact is, he is a huge step in America, like integrating and stepping forward. Like, he did great things. Did great things. So we're gonna turn him into a turd farmer. Like, what? Like, how do you? How do you look at this? How do you look at this picture? And then you say, yeah, what if it was just hands holding what appears to be a schlong? Like, what if this? What? Why? Oh my goodness. Looks like a dude holding a dong with elephantitis. In order to celebrate this day, you'll watch the episode of Boondocks where Uncle Ruckus throws bricks at MLK. They like MLK again. I thought he's a great Satan to lefties. No, you got it. You can't. You got to be more nuanced with your lefty criticism. MLK is a hero to lefties, except for who are the ones who is it? Is it the progressives? It's okay. So is it tankies? No, tankies like China and commun. Oh yeah. So tankies love Malcolm X. Tankies are like Malcolm X was the real hero of the era. And everybody else is like, I don't know, man. MLK was doing some pretty good stuff. Led a lot of people. He said he had a dream, and that's like what most people remember. Oh my gosh. It's so weird. Anyway, I saw that and I realized, hey, this is an adaptation, and we talk about adaptations all the time. It's like looking at those when people do portraits of for tattoos, and it's like, here's a picture of my mom, and they get a tattoo, and it's like freaking Chris Chan drawing. You're like, ooh, I don't know about that one. Hug that statue, shaking it. Exactly. Because of MLK, we can all hassle Blaine equally. Exactly. Everybody has a chance to throw stones at me, and it's not like a weird Elvis thing. The Michael Obama meme is best. MLK like his booties even in death. Did you see how Joe Biden wanted to sing happy birthday to someone but forgot their name while singing? Wouldn't surprise me. I don't trust anyone over the age of 70 to remember people's names. I don't remember people's names. Actually, somebody sent me a really funny meme because I drive a Subaru. And so it was like, why do people drive a Subaru? And then it like cut to Biden being like, well, there's two reasons. And the first is it was just like, yeah, okay, I get it. There's a lot of money that goes into my car. I get it. It was mean. People are mean to me all the time. It happens. It's all right. I survive. Black separatists use MLK but hate him because separatists. Malcolm X was like get hit but hit back. Oh, was like get hit but hit back. Gotcha. To be fair, her name was also Andrea. I wouldn't know how to say it either. Okay. I see. The happy birthday person. It was amazing for Biden to sing happy birthday. Subaru, Blaine, a butch lesbian. Yeah, let's actually, I think hold on. I can do this. I really like a photo I just took of my boobaroo, because it is indeed a boobaroo. So a friend was like, "Oh, what'd you do?" And I was like, "Oh, I did this and this." And I sent him a photo, and now I have that photo. Does this have my like, are plates something you should care about on the internet? Is it really that big a deal if anybody sees your plates? I don't know. I don't actually know when I think about it. Like, I feel like the worst thing you could do if you know my plates are you could pay for my tabs, which would be really nice of you. Thank you. Thank you for paying my tabs. That would be sweet. Here. He's my boobaroo. She's got her snow tires on right now. That's why she's got the black Steelies. And then I have the 2.5 RS rims for my summer tires. But I just got the Japanese train handle in the OS handle area. Really fun. Funny thing, you can't remember the names of people you've met, and yet you can remember the names from anime, right? You'll figure that out. Welcome, Flawed Man. How are you doing? How are you doing? They can dox you since plates are public info. No, they can't. I have so much public info. That's the real secret. if you don't want to get doxxed, don't make doxing you anything cool. It would take you a second to find me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I live in Washington. I live in King County. We have an anti-SWAT list. What's the baby ring for? It's an oh shit handle for the passenger to hold on to. Haven't you people ever heard of all-season tires? There's no such thing as all-season tires. An all-season tire is a shit tire at everything. You get winter tires because rubber compounds that are designed to be sticky during the cold are better for your driving, even if it's not snowing on the ground. If it's just really, really freaking cold, having a rubber compound that will stay soft in that cold temperature is good. And then you have a summer tire because that same rubber will not work very well and stops horribly when you get to the summer temperatures. So you have a summer temp tire for when you've got the really hot roads. Get out of here. Haven't you? Yeah, no. Train ring? Oh no, the stories you heard about Japanese trains? Yeah, now my car is a Japanese train. You had an O2 Rex wagon? You had the same thing with the wagon, basically, because that's an O2 Impreza, well, O2 WRX that I've done it's got a JDM swap with the STI, so it's there, and then I've done a bunch of Cobb and a bunch of pink parts. It's a very fun one. The wing on that car is not high enough for better aerodynamics. No, it's low enough to spoil the backdraft. We went over this. You want to go higher if you want actual downforce. But if you stay low, then it just spoils the air and doesn't create a vacuum behind you and cause drag. Kumiwa, how are you doing? It has been a very long time since I've seen you online. Oh my gosh. They don't even have summer in the PNW? Yeah. We have like a couple weeks where like suddenly it's like 105 for like a week, 2 weeks tops. But the rest of the time is just over 80. Switch out your tires and use chain peeps can save your life in the winter. Exactly. Chain if you have to. I've had chains, like around here, it doesn't snow very often. So your chains end up sitting somewhere. And then you don't remember that they've just been sitting around doing nothing. And then you put them on and like the steel got brittle or the latch got brittle or something. And the chain snaps and then wraps up around your axle and you're under the snow, like trying to unwrap a chain from your axle on your stupid Prelude. No, yeah, spoiler time. Seemed to work pretty well for you in the East Coast. So that's your problem. You're on the East. You have to be on dope to put a spoiler on your car. Well, call me dope then. No more spoilers unless it's about Velma. I love Scooby-Doo. This happened to me. Yes. Yes, it did, actually. I had a rude lude. I had a 1987 Honda Prelude that I had fully gutted. Gutted that thing. It was down to the bare plastic. I swapped it out for some Jegs racing seats, like just the garbage white ones. I had to actually like bend my own like brackets to install the seats on. I loved that stupid thing. It was loud as hell, and it was just the whee! Like it was such a high pitched sound. But because it was at least a Prelude, it was better than driving a Civic around. So at least I could actually keep up with people, and it was one of those fun things to have. But yeah, I put the chains on, and the chains had just been in the trunk forever. you know, the trunk from my 1987 car that barely seals in an area where we have constant rain. And one of the links just tink and just, and the sound of a chain wrapping up around your front half axle and just is the worst thing you've ever heard. And especially when it's snowing and you know that whatever that sound is, you're about to be out in the cold under a vehicle that's already stupidly low and trying to figure out how to fix this. It was good. It was good. New Jersey had blizzards every decade and had to use chains. Yeah. If you're in like snow, you need chains. You can't get away from it. It's a Velma free zone. It's not Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby-Doo. When my parents would go on dates and I was old enough to stay home and watch my sister, we didn't have a babysitter or anything. Before they would go out for their date night, we would go to Hollywood Video. It was like our local Blockbuster, and we would rent a Scooby-Doo. So we'd either be a chunk of like the original 1960s, like 1 through 5 episodes or something like that, or we'd get one of the movies, and we'd come back and my parents would leave, and then me and my sister would make macaroni and cheese, Kraft macaroni and cheese, and we'd pop we had like the couch in the living room was a hide-a-bed, so we'd pop that out and we'd sit on the hide-a-bed watching Scooby-Doo movies or TV show, eating mac and cheese all night. Like we would make like 3 or 4 boxes probably of mac and cheese, is what it felt like. I'm sure it was only 1 or 2, but just smashing that mac and cheese and watching Scooby-Doo. So I freaking love Scooby-Doo. And this new show is, I don't have the ability to get somebody to watch my show without putting somebody else's name on it. And it's like, just don't. If you can't get your story out there, if you can't tell your story on your own, and you're going to completely change another story in order to get that story out there, maybe your story's not that great. Maybe there's not an audience that's interested in it. Maybe it's hilarious because the people that I follow on Twitter that are more progressive, will say, are making posts that say this show really sucks, and they're like labeled, they're like, this post is protected, no, you can't comment, or you can't see it unless you both follow each other. And you're like, nobody likes this thing, why does it exist? It's always so crazy. All right, geez, I lost that one. Arizona's western, and western is beautiful. You can see the previous age that shaped the country. Arizona is interesting. Arizona is, I feel like it's constantly in limbo to try to figure out what it is. Like every time I go there, it just feels a little different every time. Very interesting place. You shot a drive shaft out of your Jeep when the U-joint broke at the rear. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, man. That would be the worst. I threw a rod in my Toyota pickup and just coasted it into a parking lot and just called a wrecking yard and was like, it's yours. But man, how much coast do you get when your drive shaft goes out? Oh, that sound. I bet that sound was something. For sure. For sure. This is a safe space from Velma. Yeah, we are now. We are safe. You still don't like non-Kraft mac and cheese, mainly the noodles. So there is Kraft mac and cheese, and then there's like the casserole mac and cheese. And I call it casserole mac and cheese because it used to be mom's mac and cheese, because like my mom would make like a bechamel sauce, put a bunch of cheese in it, dump the noodles in and then bake it, and you put like the breadcrumbs or the potato chips or kind of whatever we had that was crispy would go on top to give it a nice crunch. And then so forever it was Mom's mac and cheese, but there's this place in Seattle called Beecher's. They make an amazing cheese, and they make an amazing Beecher's mac and cheese. And that's it's that same kind of casserole style where they're making a bechamel, throwing their cheese in, getting those big noodles, getting a crispy top. Like, it's exactly the same as Mom's mac and cheese, but it's like a local place. So there, those are the two. You get casserole mac and you get Kraft mac. Shaggy's perfect for today. He's your stoner IT chat at work. Instead, he's now some beta soy. Yeah, OG Shaggy had it going. Women with the same haircut as me might be interested in it. They aren't. That's the crazy part. They aren't. Oh my god, don't make me sing the song. I love it. You grew up on Scooby-Doo reruns from the 60s in the 80s. And I grew up on the watching the VHSs in the 90s. Pure ego project from a person that doesn't know they aren't funny. She was in a comedy show once, and so that means that she is, of course, a comedian now. That's how it works. Arizona's a monument to mankind's arrogance. That's true. No one should live there in the summer. You saw a YouTube video titled, "You're supposed to hate the Velma movie." You looked like clickbait and you didn't watch it. Yeah. You put the Jeep in 4x4 and got it home. Damn! You're like, all right, well, I guess the rears don't work. 4x4 my fronts, baby. Mom's mac and cheese. You see Eminem trying to remake his classic hit. Yeah, exactly. Mom's mac and cheese. It's on my sleeves. Exactly. All right, let's get into these. Let's get the Gundam. Activate spoiler Gundam. Tequila. And then let's see. Wanted to see shows on the side. So I'm trying to remember. Did I reviewed Bofurry last time? I think I'm way down here. Did I already review Giant Beasts of Arse episode 2? I think I did. Okay. Giant Arizona only exists to tell Razorfist that Aliens is a good movie. Oh. Well, Aliens is a good movie there, so at least that's true. Dry heat in Arizona isn't that bad. I don't like, what is with people? They're like, oh, it's a dry heat. It's like, I don't care. It's hot. Like, here's the deal. I can go in my sauna at 85 Celsius for 15 minutes, no problem. If I go in it at 85 Celsius and I'm splashing water on the heating element, I'm done in like 5 to 6 minutes. So I get it. Like, water causes a heat transfer into your skin faster and you hit the heat levels quicker. But it's still 85 degrees. When you go to Arizona, sure, it's dry, so it takes longer for your body to realize that it's like 105, but it's still going to be 110 by the time you're done going into the store and you come out and it's like 2 o'clock. Places are insane. Places are insane. 140 isn't bad. It's a dry heat. It's like, shut up. Get out of here. You like Giant Beast because of Rare Paladin show? I also like Giant Beast because it has this interesting paladin cleric vibe going to it. I talk about Celsius with my sauna because my sauna came from China, so it only uses Celsius. Oh man. I could do the conversion for you if you'd like. I have Google open, so I could figure that out. Dry heat, wet heat, either way, your balls are going to be submerged. It's a swampland down there. Night and day, Arizona dry and humid, Florida heat, Blaine. I have been in both, and I hate them both. I don't like. This is what I don't understand. It's oh well, Arizona's a dry heat. Oh, Florida, that's a wet heat. And it's like, they're both heat. You guys don't understand. If I could keep the world at 50 degrees, I would. 50 Fahrenheit, just boop, stuck. There we go. Perfect. Ideal temperature. And then, like, we get, some cold in the mountains so I can still go snowboarding, and a little heat down at the beach so that we can go have some fun at the beach. But everywhere else you go, 50 degrees. Stuck. That's where my if I had the God thermostat, that's where I would have it stuck. The little box with the lock, key all around it. Nobody'd be messing with that. You see people driving with their leather seats in Arizona, rip your balls. Don't get the China virus from my China sauna. Don't worry. That I cooked that thing good when it arrived. We microwaved every piece and then we heated it up. It's fine. Quit with the nasty talk. Oh, what's wrong? Ball sweat get you juicy. You worked the border in AZ in May, June. You were in Iraq for over a year. It's freaking hot. Yeah, exactly. Then becomes a new Klaus Schwab to make the world forever 50 degrees. Dude, if I could be that man and just be like, no. It's kind of like, growing up, you didn't touch dad's thermostat. Like, dad set the thermostat, nobody touched it. That's what the global thermostat would be like if I had special weather controlling powers. That's how it would go down. So you'll know if the world is suddenly homogenizing at 50 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll be like, hey, yeah, you did it. Nice. Way to go. I thought he was just doing a food truck, but he finally did it. All right. First, Endo and Kobayashi live, the latest on Tsundere Villainess Liezolette. This show is a completely fun take on the villainess genre. So we had My Life as a Villainess, All Roads Lead to Doom. We had Villainess in Another World. We do I'm Taking Over the Villainess and gonna romance the Demon King. We Villainess is its own sort of genre now. I like the way this one is playing out. I like the idea that this couple, I'm going to call them a couple because I think it's going to be a romantic show at the end of the day. This couple is playing the game. They're not sucked into the game. They're not trapped in the game. They're just playing the game. And then all of a sudden the game responds. And they're now deities to the players of the game. And now they can tweak it and play with it, and they can try to save everybody so that nobody dies and we can have a happy ending, and they can sort of go about their whole Otome game trying to make it the best ending they possibly can. I like the way everything is going about this, and I'm excited for the next episode. Usually, when I get to a villainous show, Reborn is the villainess. I'm gonna be the villainess taking over the demon. It's always like, oh, I kind of know where this is going. But the fact that they've paired what is clearly going to be a fun high school rom-com into like this outer story, it's not even a framing story or a framing device, because it is a like side story while we're watching the video game story. There's that extra little bit, and I love those silly comedic rom-coms. Like they're so silly. If they're done well, I like the way you get to know the characters. I like the way the characters grow. So I'm excited to see that, even if the villainous storyline gets a little bit overplayed. Like if they start to get into some of the more classic archetypes and tropes, it could be kind of boring for the game parts, but this sort of framing story of like the kids learning to work together to lead to the better endings is still going to be there to keep me hooked. So I am stoked for this show. And the princess is pretty cute too. Classic. And I like that they're Tsundere. Like, I think they spelled it in French for some reason when he heard it from the gods. It was very well done. I like it a lot. And that we can kill the dumb protagonist trope by having people that are familiar with the tropes be like, she doesn't mean that. She actually wants to say she bought this for her, but doesn't want to say that she bought it for her. You know, it's fun. I like the way the whole like thing is set up. Quite enjoying that one. The ice guy and his cool female colleague. Episode 2 brings us to Ice Guy. Okay, if you didn't see episode 1, let me recap a little bit. Ice Guy is the one son of the Yuki Onna, and part of his deal is that anytime he feels emotional, he creates storms. So you get winter storms, you get snowstorms, there's breezes. Sometimes he's in an igloo. He makes little snowmen when he's really happy. But when he gets really emotional, snow appears and the world gets cold. They're going to go on a work trip. And so in episode 2, the work trip is going to go to the sunniest place in Japan. It's going to go to, what the hell is that place called? Oh, I can't cut this out of the short anymore. What the hell is that place called? The Southern Island. No, not Kyushu and Shikoku. The really south one. The one that like barely counts. Okinawa. Jeez, Aloo. I can't believe I forgot that. That's where the base is. So they're gonna go to Okinawa for a retreat, like a work retreat thing, and he's all worried because if he gets too emotional, he's going to create a snowstorm that's gonna ruin the fun sunny atmosphere. And like the fact that he's all worried about it, and then our cool female colleague is like, here, this thing makes the sound of waves so you can train to not be as emotional when you're thinking about the beach. And then they go through a freaking training montage of him learning to hear the sounds of the ocean and not create snowstorms is one of the funniest things in one of these little office romance shows that I've seen in a long time. This was a really fun episode. The payoffs and everything were really interesting. We learned something new about him when it comes to heat, because you're like, oh, you live in the snow. Of course you're a snow guy. And then when he gets into the heat, we're like, oh, so this is kind of like your character flaw here, or your physical flaw with your character. Just really, really fun episode. And 100% saved it from being a drop for you. He seems more confident. Definitely. I still think that the issues in episode 1 were just that they were making him cold and detached, and so it made him feel timid. But in actuality, he's not. He just is cold. Like, that's just his characterization. One man show, greetings. It is good to see you again, friend. Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2, Episode 2 has fallen into the realm of there's too many names. Too many names in this one. I get that there's like this big world they're trying to express where there's demons and gods and devils and they're all different somehow, and then there's spirits and all of these things are interacting, and some kingdom wants to do that, some kingdom wants to do that, but the amount of name jargon in this second episode is just like, I could have skipped this episode. I could have watched the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes, and I would have missed nothing, because the entire middle section was, oh, the great Blandergard is going to go to the kingdom of Ufragarsh, and like, oh, my girl is gonna be the new Dormammu, and it's like, what does any of this mean? There is so much jargon, and you're all just standing around talking words, and it's not like in a way that I can follow. Just get back to the point where our main guy can basically beat anything. Like, just go back to that. Go back to that. I don't need to keep hearing the names of the people he's going to beat. Just show me him beating the people. I don't want this. I don't want this right now. Go back to the other one. But again, I'm into season 2 already, so it's not like I'm gonna give up on this show after one episode of jargon. We'll see. Comic Relief Crusader, hail, how are you doing? One man show, the Ice Guy, you dropped it. You know, it's Ice Guy, not Watamote. There was the love for otakus is hard. This sort of people in the workplace having romances. My senpai is annoying. I feel like for some people, you need a really specific draw to make one of those shows interesting for you. Like My Senpai is annoying, maybe one where you really like it, but I could see you not as big a fan of Ice Guy or something like, it's not Watamote, it's Wataten? Hold on. Love for Otakus is hard is like the subtitle. Is hard. Watakoi, that's what it is. Watakoi is very similar to Ice Guy. But yeah, if you don't have that, it's sort of like you say like, oh, I like shonen, but like you don't like all shonen. There's shonen where you're like, this shonen is boring or this shonen is fun because of like the power system, the scaling system, the characters. Like it can change one to one. So, but if you get one that has like all of the things that you're interested in, you may be a bit more into it. But Badu, we're saying hi. Demon King Academy didn't catch your interest. Season 1 or season 2? Because you didn't like a baby who's like going to suckle on mama's teat, being like, "Hello, mother. I am the reincarnated demon lord. I will run this land." And she's like, "Our baby can talk. What a great baby!" I'm so silly. It's so silly. I love it. I friggin' love it. It's like Revengers. Trying to remember all of these gang members. Tokyo Revengers. We have another Revengers we'll be talking about. But yeah, Tokyo Revengers, and they're like, oh, you don't remember this? The worst part about Tokyo Revengers and all the name jargon is that they sometimes use the nickname, sometimes they use the given name, and sometimes they use the family name, and they always expect you just to know who they're talking about. And it's like, can we subtitle the same name for each character? Like, I get that won't be what they're saying in Japanese, but like, it would really help me if every time we're talking about his red-headed Mohawk friend, we use the same name and don't use like his proper name, his baptism name, his English name, his Mongolian name. Like every time we talk about him, he's got a different damn name, and I'm like, oh, that's right, it's the guy who has like 16 names for some reason because they can't stick to one. But yeah, no, I get you on that one for sure. That episode left you with dirt face, too much expo, 100%. I am glad that they didn't do that in the first episode for someone who was like trying to get back into it, because they could watch that first episode, and that first episode is just like, remember me? I kill gods, and he just murders a god. And you're like, all right, cool, okay, I'm in it. I'm in it now. that first episode was great, but they really fell back on this second one. Writing sucks. They couldn't incorporate the explanations into the story creatively. I don't even know if you need to incorporate explanations. I just don't think you need to say it. I think it's like, we know you can be like, somebody hates us. Probably the other kingdom, or we don't need like all these proper names for all these things, like the god of death or something. Like we can use euphemisms, or we can use like nicknames for things that let us know what's going on with the story. We don't need it to always be the proper name of the god. But do rather have workplace than effing high school crap. Sometimes the high school crap works really well. Sometimes it works awful. But again, it just depends on how it's made by who. Definitely not Watate. Watakoi, yeah, exactly. Smash that like button. Thanks for the reminder. Comic Relief Crusader, smash the like. You try to give most genres a chance. Silliness is kind of a turnoff for you. Oh, interesting. Sometimes life's too serious and I like a silly show. So that's just me. His Mormon name! Yeah, exactly. Everybody's got cut onto it as well. Exactly. Yeah, because it took, I was like, the hell's he talking? And then I remembered that he's the guy from season 1 who was driving the car. And I was like, oh, that's right. It's the friend with the, okay, got it. Elijah Keel. Consistent references are helpful. That's true. Michael's dead. Yeah, rip Michael. Can we get some rips in the chat? Rip candle for Michael. Blaine wants to culturally appropriate Japanese names. Already on it, my friend. I am appropriate to their culture as much as I can be. The hair really makes my earpiece pop. I have like a lot of people are like, oh, I can't listen to myself. I can't hear myself. I can't listen to my own voice. I can't do it. When I'm speaking into a mic, like I can do it. I can talk. But I want to know, like actively, I need to monitor if I'm shouting so much that I'm clipping the mic, because then I know I can just real quick hear that I can't hear me and I can bring it down a little bit so that I can at least be heard through the mic. I've been listening to my own voice for a decade now, so it's not like I don't sound weird to me when I listen to myself recorded. It just sounds like my voice now, because I've been doing it for so long. So it's weird for me to not monitor my voice to see if, maybe, if my voice is off, I gotta fix it, right? Or conversely, if I'm shouting and then you hear clip, then you're like, oh, I need to turn it down, like bring it down a little bit because I'm hearing it clip too much. And I hate having visuals to try to tell me that, because if I see a visual, I never really know if that visual is on time or accurate with what I'm doing right now. Anyway, that was a lot of that was a lot of baseball or whatever. Whew, seat is warm all of a sudden. We need more high schools. just in general, we need more high schools. Any other anime reviews? Yes, we have many more anime reviews. You've seen a lack of eat shit, Blaine. That is true. Rip Michael. Wifey comes in and remembers who she married. Yeah. Sure, you have excellent reasons. Your comment was not meant to be a dig. I didn't take it as a dig. You triggered one of my autisms, which is sound and like audio engineering. Audio engineering is one of my autisms. So all you did is tickle one of my taints a little bit. You got me all excited about talking about why I use an earpiece, and you will see a lot of people that may or may not use an earpiece. So bear with me on my stream getting excited about how I do it. That's how you know Blaine's a real narcissist. He loves the way he sounds. Is that what you're saying? You've activated my autism card. I love that autism is now we can use it as like you brought up something that I'm really into. Like, rather than say like, oh, I'm really into this and I want to talk about it, I can just reference that it's my autism and you all understand it immediately. The future's awesome. High card, you're not sure about it yet? I am digging it. High card, we've had some shows in the past that we've watched where it's like, oh, this person watched this show and this show and this show and sort of mashed all of those ideas together to make their own new show. And High Card is The Great Pretender, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the stand era, and you know, a little bit of Kingsman, all kind of rolled into one. But the person smashing them all together kind of understood how you use those things to give a compelling motivation and an interesting story. And rather than try to make it like, oh, we have to make this like a world ending thing. Like it could be a world ending thing. We don't really know enough about the universe yet to know if like we're talking about world ending consequences. But all we need to know right now is like save the orphanage. And it's simple, it's dumb. Born in orphanage, brought me together. I need money for the orphanage. Cool. I got it. We don't rest on that for like a really long time. It's not like this big burdensome thing. It's not something we're really focused on every minute of the episode. But now we have a quick motivation. We know where characters are coming from. Now we have powers. Powers just work. We don't know why, but they do. And we're here to try to make them work better together, basically. And it's really fun. I like the way it's set up. Second episode followed right along and got me from that, like, oh, it's kind of an interesting, like, I thought it was going to be something completely different. And then we roll into the second episode that gets us into our team and right into that sort of monster of the week formula, which I think is going to work really well until we get to sort of the overarching big bads. So I am here for it. I'm quite enjoying it. High card is like JoJo for gay people. Is it? Is it? I feel like it's JoJo for non-anime fans. Like it's JoJo for normies, you know? Like it's not it's got that sort of aesthetic where everything's really grounded in reality except for this like special power that everybody has. But they really do a good job of explaining why they have a special power. Like we have these things, they give us special powers, and the rest of it's really well grounded. So I feel like this is the kind of anime that like if your family doesn't watch anime, they could be in the same room watching it with you, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's kind of a fun show. This is kind of an interesting idea." You love high card, good. Wait, that's what autism means? Blame is just retarded. They can both. They can both be true. They can both be true. There's not one or the other. High card is for guys who haven't come out of the closet yet, unlike JoJo fans who busted that door down years ago. Oh my gosh, you never go full retard, Nico. It's true. Never go full retard. JoJo, but 3x gay? What? 3x? Jeez, Lou, that's a lot of X's. It's so gay, it's actually 4 Fujoshi. Hold on, is this like a thing? Is this like is high card Fujo bait? JoJo stands mixed with Prisma Ilia cards and a lot of Fujoshi bait. What? Am I just like... Am I blind sometimes? Am I old? What is happening? I don't remember that at all. How? What's Fujoshi about it? Brandon, what is going on, friend? What is going on? All right, by the grace of the gods, 2 Security Boogaloo. There's gonna be a lot of shipping. Okay. I mean, there are multiple dudes who are capable in a show. I just assume it's going to be Fujo shipping at this point. But I don't see it as... Oh, that's funny. I like to see if Iris likes high card. If she likes it, then it's Fujo bait. Wait, who's Iris? I don't know. Who is this? A Hololive? Half demon? Oh, great. Some VTuber's gonna tell you whether or not something's Fujo bait. Fujo is short for Fujoshi. And a Fujoshi is a woman who ships men into couples. So if you've seen Kiss Him Not Me, the main girl in Kiss Him Not Me is a Fujoshi, and that's part of the joke, is that she ends up with the reverse harem, but really what she wants is them all to love each other. First, you've heard of this one. I'm assuming you're talking about High Card still. For you, it's the style of the character designs. The style of the character designs looks like a Netflix produced anime to me. Like, it looks like Netflix paid like A1 Pictures or somebody to put it together. While they're always perverted chicks ruining things. I mean, as long as they keep their perversions on Tumblr, that's fine. As long as they're not making me have to reconcile it in any way. BB cocaine. Weeb Taku. Who are these people? Card battle, primarily adult cast. Guns, foreign, gambling. I was trying to find. Oh, it's on this slider. That's right. Hibari. Not Shibari. Hibari. Classroom of the Elite. Bakugan. A lot of Bakugan stuff. Monster Strike. Promotional video for Hoseki. Fight Ipatsu Juden. They did the the workout anime where every episode you're training with Hinako and her giant Hinakers as she does sit-ups and push-ups in her room, and you're like really close to her. Moonlight Mile. What an interesting show. Narum Daikon Brothers. No wonder I like it. I love Narum Daikon Brothers. That show is great. Those people probably don't work there anymore. My guess. Women always read gay mangas. It is true. You were not referring to High Card there. Were you referring to By the Grace of the Gods 2? Slime Boogaloo. Share High Card Yaoi fan arts in Blaine's Discord to get him cultured. No, don't do it. Do not do it. Nope. Don't do it. Do not bring me that garbage. We will not have this sickness in my Discord. It is a sickness, and we will not have it in Discord. All right, By the Grace of the Gods 2. If you're watching this show, you're still watching this show. There was nothing that happened in this episode that was like, oh, wow, finally, I was going to drop it, but now I'm going to keep watching it. It's the same dang show it's been. His business is doing great. He's learning to figure out who is trying to corporate espionage him. He's learning ways to use slimes to make swords. Like, it's same show. What are you doing a season and a couple episodes in going, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm going to drop this one. Why? This show's stupid, but I love it. It's so silly. I can't wait. Like, I love that we got a new slime, and I can't wait for another new slime. That's what I want. I want another new slime. That'll be exciting. Slime capitalist, you like it? I won't have this sickness in Discord yet. You're there? Okay, great. Grace of Gods, you never heard of it before now. It is a weird show, that's for sure. Reminds you of an outfit you saw on a character in Alchemia storyline. Character breathed, her boobs bounced. Oh, that's great. Let the haters hate on Grace of Gods. My young little man is making that money. He's getting that bag. He is. He's using slimes to clean clothes. And it's working. It's such a funny show. How are you doing, Brandon?
I'm good. This one sounds funny, but since I haven't seen the first season, I can't watch it. So
have you ever played one of those games where you start out with like a lemonade stand, and you hit the button for the lemonade stand, and then eventually you can get two things. It's like, oh, now you got two lemonade stands, and eventually you have a lemonade store, and like it just keeps growing and growing and growing. This show is that with slimes. The guy has like an evolutionary slime tree because he just happens to be like, oh, I'll tame a slime, and he's like a beast tamer. And it's very dumb, but it's very funny.
That sounds interesting. Hey there, how are you?
Your camera looks pretty good. It's like not actually getting destroyed by compression right now.
Well, I would hope not. From the camera to the computer, it's supposed to be 1080p 60 fully uncompressed.
Yep, so looks good.
Yeah, well, that's why I got it. For a 1080 camera, it's as good as it gets. And the 4K camera that I wanted from Elgato, they're currently out of. So,
oh, of course.
I just wanted to pop on, say hi, and there are 2 shows that I've dropped this season so far.
2 drops. What do you got?
Let me go and find them because they're no longer on the main list. Let's see here. Where are they? Anime list. There we go. All right, let me get the screen shared here. Let's see if it's going to behave and actually do it here. All right. There we go.
Bingo.
So since I have to use Firefox for this, it's a little different for how it shares. But from this, there we go. From this season, the 2 that I have dropped, I've paused Boku Toro Boko. It's weird, but I'm just pausing it for now.
It's funky. I'll agree.
Yeah, it's really funky. Where'd it go? I can't see it. Why is it not? Okay. The first one I dropped was Onimai, I'm Now Your Sister.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That is so. It had the potential to be a funny, later teen comedy, but instead they decided, what would be funny is to make her older brother her younger sister and make her at the age of.
This is somebody's fetish. That's the worst part about that show.
The author.
Exactly.
It's the author, obviously. You know who it is.
You know me. There are some shows that I watched, wouldn't have, and I had to bleach bit my brain. I was done. I immediately bleach bit my brain after watching this one. It was no, don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
And Gemini is completely correct. Don't do that to this show because you'll. Yeah, it's
that's a path you don't want to start down.
Exactly. So that's the first one I dropped. I have no reservations about it being dropped. I'm good with it. Now the other one that I decided to drop, I think it will be a good story, but that first episode was just too hard for me to get through.
DxD is a wonderful show. Don't you diss my great harem that way.
So I decided to drop this one.
You did? I figured you would. I kind of knew.
Yeah,
I kind of knew.
It's dying.
Well, it is a really good romance story.
Why are there yokai? Like, why are they? And it may just never be explained.
They're
Either
yokai or they're half yokais. Who knows?
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm a descendant of these, and I'm like, why is this normal? But I'm betting you're right. You're right. It's not going to ever address it. But like, I'm in it. I think it's cute. But
it was the first episode was way too slow and just a little too heavy on the cheesy romance side, and even with that, it's got the typical he really is starting to like her. She likes him, but it looks like it's more of a the friend zone type stuff, and I'm just like, I've got way too much other stuff I need to watch. I can't do this one. I just can't.
Yeah. I don't.
So it's probably really good for someone.
Masterpiece.
Yeah. It's probably really good for some people that love the romantic crap. Well, I like a good romance. This one just didn't push it right. So
yep.
It's dropped.
Completely understandable.
Yep. Other than that, I of course finished The Ways of the House Husband season 2, and I laughed my ass off at every single part of it.
Nice.
Although I can't show clips from it because they didn't block it, but they did claim it. So can't do that.
Of course.
I mean, you can't show clips from it because it's just still images, anyways.
I can show slideshows of it.
Well, it's better. This season is better. The animation is
They
better.
did a little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
But as you can see, I've only got a few of the shows that I've been able to really buzz through. I've got 3 more that I'm going to try and do tonight, and then try to do some more. But I'm going to stop watching Stampede until I can watch the dub. Then we'll go down that path with whoever hasn't seen the original Trigun but watches this, then goes and watch the other, and then we'll go through the whole thing and make a determination. But my gut feeling, even with I'm still not sold on it, but it might be better with Johnny doing the voice, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll talk about my thoughts on it a little bit later. But so when's the dub coming out?
Not this weekend, but the next weekend is when it
2
starts.
weeks. Okay.
No, I said no. Wait, hold on. I think he said the 21st. Hold on, just one sec. Let me do a quick search.
Oh, that'd be next week then. Yeah, 21st is next week if that's true.
Bosch Trigun Stampede.
They may have been a little bit late because they're still working out details on actually doing it.
I think part of it too is like kind of knowing what the original story is. You're like, I don't know where this is going, and if it's gonna go the right way. So it's like you just wait for something to come out, and then you can
this Saturday
and see what's going on.
This Saturday is when the dub will start, so it will only be
exciting.
It's only like
it'll only be 2 episodes behind.
Or 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna do because I've only seen Trigun dubbed. So
right.
Yeah.
Hearing the Japanese voices, I'm okay with the Japanese voices. They sound fine. I don't have the problem with that. But the adaptation that they're doing, I'm not sure if it's... I don't know how it's going to play out because I know how the anime plays out. I know they're not following the manga as strictly as I think some people were guessing they would. This is a whole other animal altogether. And because of that, I've got to try and treat it as if I had never seen the original, and that's going to be tough.
Yep.
So, yeah. But I still want to get through Nier Automata, all the other ones. I will say this: the 2 that I've laughed my ass off really hard at was Tomo-chan as a girl. This is better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh,
The animation,
it's gonna be a banger.
Yeah, it's a good one. And Buddy Daddies, I laughed so hard at it.
Really?
I think it's hilarious. Mainly because I remember how my daughter was, and my daughters were at the age of 4, and how you have to suspend certain parts of your brain for the first episode in order to accept the base premise.
Yep.
Once you do that, I think it's hilarious. But I also laughed really hard at Farming Life in Another World.
I still need to start that one.
Oh, it's
farming a harem in another world. It's on my list. I got to get into it.
Well, that's the problem. One spy classroom. It's kind of a misnomer because they're not in class. And after the second episode, they're actually on the mission that they were supposed to be in class for. But once again, one guy, whole crap ton of women. One guy, whole crap ton of women-ish things.
I see nothing wrong with this picture.
Don't get me wrong. These 2 are good. They're beautiful looking. The animation on both of these is very good.
Oh no, I was talking about like the one man, a bunch of women. I was like, I don't see anything.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. This one is different. This one actually has a mecha in it.
Yes.
The trails? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because it is like entirely based on the game setting, right?
Yes. Yep. And you see, I had never heard of the game, and I did not know that it was based on a game.
No, I specifically put this on my list because of the game series, because I've wanted to play the games and get into them, but I just never have, and so it was like, oh, anime, that's easy. Yeah, I'll do that instead.
But yeah, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say what did I give it so far? It's a 7.7, so it's approaching better than what I need it to be in order to continue it, but it really is going to depend upon how the next 2 episodes.
Hey, Brand, what's like the range of scores you give? Because I saw like some of your other ones that dropped to like a 7, then you don't have anything rated below that.
If I'm okay with it, I'll typically score it around a 7, and if I'm really digging it, I'll put it into an 8. And if I think S tier level stuff, I'll put it up to a 9 something.
Do you rate below a 7, or do you just drop it?
Oh yeah, That Onimai, I was being generous when I gave it a 6.
That is
Well, it's like with Raven.
That's that's
Like,
pretty
well,
generous. Yeah, that's not
the
what I gave it.
animation was there.
Yeah,
Kind
it was
of.
like with Raven. I gave it a 5, and I dropped it after the 1.
Oh, really?
Because it was just not. Well, as I said, I think it was
Interesting.
primarily the setting.
I think
that
the
it was
first
in.
episode was weird.
So.
The first episode was so weird.
Yes.
The later episodes were more cohesive and more understandable. That's for sure.
They probably got better, but by the time that I had dropped it, starting off with 25, 26, it's hard to go back and pick something back up that maybe was teetering. I'm just not even going to screw with it. So,
Yep.
But this one was good.
Yeah, it doesn't.
This
It doesn't
one,
leave a good first impression.
Yep.
Buddy Daddies, is unique because it doesn't have a manga. This is its first outing in any form.
Yep.
And I like
Very
it.
exciting.
It's got beautiful animation. It's really good. But I can't wait to get into this one. This one, I think I'm going to laugh my ass off at this
Yeah,
one.
that's really funny.
It's been very fun so far.
Not sure about this one, but I'm going to give it the chance. I've never played any of the Nier Automata stuff, so I don't know how it's going to be, but we'll see.
It
I've seen
feels
some
like a
animation from it,
cutscene.
and it's pretty crazy. But I do plan
Yeah.
to skip it because I'm going to play the game.
Every time I
see.
watch it, I just keep like thinking like, oh, I need to pick up the controller like when I'm watching the show because I'm
Yeah.
like getting ready for the cutscene to end.
I got to finish Vinland Saga Season 1 so I can get into Season 2. I have to
yes.
do that. I'm going to do that.
Yes.
But this one, I'm not sure on, but I'm going to give it a try.
Soranos, you gave that
Same
one
with
a
this
2,
one.
I think.
Oh.
I would say Shum has really liked Handyman Saitao. He's put it onto his weekly, so I'm
Yeah,
going to
dude.
give it a
Handyman's
try.
very fun.
Yeah, this one I'm not sure about. But I'm at least willing to give him the shakedown. And of course, my little black cat Fran. I'm watching
Going
the dub.
through it again
And
still. Yep.
this one started off at about a 7.5 with me, but as you can see, it's ended there.
And that's actually what I get. I also give it a 9. And
Yeah,
I have
it's-
a much more stratified rating system.
Yeah,
And
it's really good.
I very much loved it.
I can't sing this one's praises enough. It takes that the isekai genre and it does something that is at least up to this point different. Taking the guy that dies, making him a sword, but not having them be just so over the top immediately. We get that growth and development which we lack in a lot of these isekais. But I cannot wait for the second season. I think it's going to be good. And I did do some checking to see whereabouts in the manga this season ended and kind of where it's going. It's going to get real good. It's going to get even better.
Nice.
And I am going to go get the light novels. I'm going to go buy them. They're good.
Something to actually follow. Nice.
Yeah, something to actually
exciting.
follow. So it's 2 down, quite a few more to get started on, but I'm way behind in this, and I shouldn't be because
Yeah, me
I
too.
like it. So
I haven't really bothered to watch it because I've just seen a lot of it. I know it's good. I don't really have a need to like catch up and see like, oh, what's the next thing going on?
exactly,
Oh, it's so much fun.
exactly. So it's
The
going
latest
okay, but
episode
I
is so
gotta
good.
I got a lot of stuff that I gotta get going with, and I didn't turn on my blur effect. Hold on one sec. Let me
Boca.
blur it just a bit.
There you go.
Either
And
that
no
or make
fan
my,
site. It's not the 3D that makes me feel like I need to pick up the controller. It's because there's a lot of really good 2D animation in it. There is some weird 3D stuff that they do with like the
As I
ships
said, it's
and
primarily
things.
not 3D. No.
But it's because it is the game. Like the entire first episode is the tutorial level of the game. It is amazing how they've translated video game into a visual story. It's just like, oh, I need to defeat this boss now. Oh, that's right, I'm watching an anime. Like it's just fun. Really well done.
Oh yeah. And actually, I meant to talk about this on my stream, but since Dennis is here, I want to say thank you to Dennis. He was nice enough to pick me up a little something from a store that he went to out there in Iowa, because it was a really good buy. Give me just a second. I will be right back, and I will show you.
Going to Vineland Saga. Sword Girl Tomo-chan and Vinland. You're reading the manga after the season? Nice. While he picks that up. Oh wait, he's back.
Yeah, there we go. He was nice enough to get me this little beauty. Oh, hold on. Let me
Wait.
How many
reverse the
different
camera.
ones do you have on?
I'm like reading
Yeah,
backwards.
I've got my camera set to mirror, so that way, but it makes it to where you can't read it. So let me turn it off. Da-da-da.
The Tenchi Muyo collection.
The movie collection, the Blu-ray,
Nice.
all 3 of them on Blu-ray.
So which
Oh,
movies is
very
that? I'm not,
fun.
because I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, Tenchi is great. Oh, if you haven't okay, here's what I'm going to say. If you're going to start with Tenchi, start with the Tenchi Muyo OVA, then go to the Ryo Oki OVA, then go to the first movie.
Okay, so that's a couple other things you might want to check
Yeah.
out first.
It
Yeah,
has a number of iterations as well as like side stories. Like I watched Tenchi Muyo Universe originally, and
I've been watching Universe.
It's a pretty good, like, just kind of self-contained. Here's the story, and you're done. But there's so much more to the universe. As, like,
Tenchi
the story.
Tenchi is great. Tenchi was one of the first ones that I remember seeing back in the 90s, and it's good. It really is.
I guess
good.
it doesn't have that many legs left today because it never got another remake. It never got a remake, did it?
Not another remake, no.
I was gonna say
After
not another remake, but it never got a
GXP,
remake.
They're actually
there's
supposed
one
to be
more
doing
after
another
GXP, I think.
I was reading in one of the news sites that they're supposed to be doing a new, either a new
new
season or a new adaptation of GXP.
Okay.
But they've also still been doing the OVA. They've had like a 5th OVA series that follows the original OVAs. After all these years, they did a 5th one a few years ago.
Yeah.
Huh. Odd.
Yeah,
Nah.
I said I absolutely adore Tenchi. And yeah, there's the War on Geminar,
That's what it
GXP,
is.
Tenchi in Tokyo.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like the Fate series, like when you start talking about it, but almost nobody knows about it outside of people who are around in like anime in the 90s. Like if you watched anime in the 90s, you know Tenchi. But
Yep.
if you're one of the 2005 and later fans, probably haven't heard about it. And it's just kind of funny how complicated the season is.
Do you
It's
do you guys know what
it's-
Vinland is?
Vinland or Vineland?
Because Vinland is literally just North America. It's like Quebec, actually.
Yeah.
That's the area that's the area
that's
they
the
landed in
legend.
that's the area they landed in that they called Vinland. It was just America.
yeah. Well, that makes sense because the time frame that they're in. Leif Erikson supposedly was the only one that has gone that far from anywhere in those northern European countries, and if he did come back and start talking about Vinland, then yeah, they're all gonna want to go there.
Yeah.
Why
because
wouldn't you wanna go to a
It's
place
really
that's-
nice, actually. It's like
That's
less
why I'm
cold.
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vinland Saga. What have I rated that so far? 9.5.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
like
Yeah.
it's one of my favorites.
It's,
I
it's
really love that.
awesome.
Yeah, it really is good. So I am going to take off. You all
Alrighty.
have a great night, and
Yeah.
thanks for letting me on for just a moment to spread the good word and to say thank you to everybody. And yeah, it's a lot of fun things coming up. So
Awesome. You
Yep,
have a
take
good
care,
one.
everybody.
Your next stream gonna be a late night, or what do you got?
Wednesday, I've got
Wednesday?
Pops coming on. We're going to talk with him about the 70s and talk some 70s anime. That'll be at 8 Eastern, 5 in the Pacific time zone for about an hour and a half, maybe. We'll see.
Awesome. Looking
Yep.
forward to it. You have a good one.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you.
All right. I got
You had a
two
couple
more.
other shows you want to talk about? Yeah.
I got 2 more reviews to do, and then we can
Yeah,
we
I'll
can get
finish
into
these
the
up
tier
first.
list. Revenger episode 2. This show gets better. I mean, I'll grant you, we've only got 2 episodes, but episodes 1 was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of a fun setup for things. And then episode 2 is like, oh, there's a whole world around this show. I can't wait. I want more. Show me more. Why is this guy such a devout Christian praying to Mary as he murders people for revenge for others? It's so interesting. Plus, I feel like the classic samurai show that's intriguing, and like there's some sort of like, I'm gonna call it pseudo supernatural elements because we're dealing with like
Yeah, a
a
little
guy
bit
who's
there.
really devout, and like his gold lacquer kill technique is like kind of like not realistic, but it's still kind of fun to watch. But I am here for this show. I am loving Revenger.
Yeah, they have
And
some cool stuff going on there. I haven't checked out the second episode yet though.
yeah. No, the second episode is it's a very good like aftermath of the first episode without being boring, because they have another mission they go on, so they still do another mission, but they deal with what the guy just did in the first episode in the beginning to get that out of the way and then move forward. It's well paced, I would say, very well paced. I'm here because your ancestors didn't build a wall. Your ancestors couldn't have built a wall to keep my ancestors out of the rivers. So that would have happened either way. But do ever someone says later, someone drop a link to Brandon's channel. I can stick it in the description real quick. But then I will pull a link up. And then Tomo-chan episode 2, she's not a Gyaru.
No, she's not a Gyaru. She's
She's not a Gyaru.
I don't know why you
but
and Michael were arguing about that on Discord.
because Almighty Lolly was like, "Oh, there's a Gyaru in this show, and she's not a Gyaru like you've seen before." And I was like, "What do you mean?
What do you
does
mean?
she do this to this and this?" And he's like, "Oh, you'll just have to see." And I was like, "What do you mean? Oh, you mean she's not a Gyaru? Is that what you're telling?" And so like I told Lolly to eat shit on his stream on Saturday, and then that's when I started into Discord. So.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a little more. I understand that.
Now it makes a little more sense now.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have gone into a whole day of talking Gyarus, but the defender isn't here, so I don't have anything to say. So
yeah, basically, there's a girl from England. Her parents are both from England. She speaks Japanese, I think. I think like
correct.
Yeah, she speaks Japanese and English, like canonically.
He had to watch a Linkara movie. This was before the Linkara movie. This was back when he was in Doogsember. I think he was still working on the third Doug Walker review. Oh, thank you, Fansite. I was just about to Google that up.
Yeah, she's just cute girl. She's just a cute.
Yeah, she's literally a princess.
Girl.
We have a princess archetype.
Hime-sama.
Hime. Not Hime.
I'll put my things up because I pretty sure I unlocked my annual list thingy. So now people can look at that. I was just like, I was waiting. I was expecting to do this on Friday.
Yeah, I know. I honestly, so when I was like,
anyways, yeah. What were we doing?
What was I? Oh, my sister needed to get picked up from the airport, and then we had a bunch of stuff related to that afterwards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you have a YouTube channel like handle yet?
Well, yeah, you can link to my YouTube channel. I don't really have anything on there yet, but
do you have a handle?
I think so. Let me go.
It's Tarrant, right?
Yeah, I think it's just
okay.
Like
Tarrant. Okay.
I think that should work. I posted in the.
Perfect. Okay, now you're in the down below. That'll be easier.
Yeah, that should work.
No, I literally, when I was like, oh, I'm not gonna have time tonight. Damn it! I bet Soranos got his tier list finished. That was my second thought after realizing I wasn't gonna be able to stream.
Weekly thing, you know. Yeah, let's get the little GIMP thing open. One thing I did differently this time is I made 2 of them.
Ooh.
They're not actually different, mostly, but it actually stopped sharing the screen immediately because I think I clicked cancel.
Michael's uncultured. Treat that guy nicer than Blaine. Wait, which guy?
Okay, that should be correct. Yeah. So the difference I did this time is I actually put scores there as well. Or I have a version with scores.
Yeah, we don't just have like an A, B, C. Good night, Dennis.
So basically my bottom ones I have here. These ones are the ones that are so low, it's not really worth differentiating as much.
I love that your drop And the one where I started Inukai-san's dog, and then I started like clicking through it, like what happens in a
Yeah,
minute? What happens in a minute? What
yeah.
like I'm in middle school, like trying to burn my way through every porn like I can find online, like just trying to like click through it. Like, does
This
anything happen
good.
in this show? Like, what is going?
This
Like, does
good.
anything happen? And it's like Michael's show of the season. And it's like, where are you broken?
Yeah, because Michael's a furry.
It's
We
true.
already know this.
You
Speaking
just
of
wanted me.
furries, this one right there, that one. That's
What
the
is this
furry
one?
show. This is the
You
Tale of
posted a picture.
Outcasts. This is the Tale of
Okay.
Outcasts. All the demons are literally just furries.
And that was the one you put in the Discord. There was like a
Yeah.
wolf man.
And
Wolfkin.
the first two you meet, the wolf guy's the second one you meet. They're just like protecting little girls. It's like
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Of course they
and they're
are.
gonna live
Cubs,
with them
they
for the
call
rest of
them.
their life. Like, all right, okay, I guess that's what we're doing in that one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the first one I dropped. I didn't like the premise and the characters.
No.
I put Ice Blade down at the back. Like, I guess we could zoom in a little bit more here so you can see it better. But yeah, the Ice Blade I put like at the very bottom because I dropped it in like 3 minutes.
Really?
Like me and Michael, we just saw enough of it. And he's like, "Yeah, this is garbage. I don't need to see any more of this."
Interesting. California bro.
Basically, it's
Michael.
just it was so cliche and uninteresting.
Hey, Soranos is an Oregonian, I'll have you know.
Yeah,
We are the entire West Coast when we're all on here.
it's like a Megatron, you know. Yeah, Ice Blade and the Sorcerer. I just did not see anything hopeful for it. So I was like, even if this is okay, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah. Well, and
Mainly,
with
I put these down here like at the bottom because I dropped them right away.
exactly.
These are like
Well, and
instant
with a
drops.
season like it is, if it doesn't hook you, there's no reason to stick. Exactly. There's so much other stuff
Like
to
we can
watch
zoom
right
back.
now.
I'll zoom back out here. Like these shows we have here. This is like half the show, more than half the shows I put down like towards the middle ratings. There's a lot of shows.
Yeah.
There's like another 10 shows above here that we haven't looked at yet. Roboco-san,
So
I heard the.
what was it about chilling in my 30s that was like when did you say like nope?
For me, it was basically when I saw like, oh, he's going to be overpowered at every single type. He was just secretly didn't know he was good at magic. And it's like, that's what they've done that so many times. So many people do this. They secretly didn't know that they were overpowered.
Yeah.
I
You were
just can't.
you're just
can't be
living in the
interested.
wrong box. If you were the right fish in the right pond, you'd survive and be amazing.
Yeah, I just like I can't.
I get it. All
Yeah,
right.
that was like the entire thing behind that. Yeah,
I
I actually did give it a second episode. I probably will watch a third episode of it. It's
Oh,
not
really?
literally the worst thing. But
I
was
haven't
like,
even given it a second episode yet.
I was gonna say like I don't really. I have a vote of no confidence in this.
Okay.
I will give it a third episode and give it like a small summary, but the rest of these don't get that. The
Yeah.
rest of these things, they don't get that. They're not getting more episodes.
No more. No mass.
I skimmed through the second episode of Tale of the Outcast just so I could
Just to confirm
just
the
to see.
furriness of it.
yeah, just confirm the furriness because I saw those characters. I was like, oh, yeah. The rest of those four did get dropped instantly.
Yeah.
These next two, they got another episode. They got an
What's the
extra
third to
episode.
last one?
The Roboco.
No, the last one's Roboco. The third to last one.
Oh yeah, that's this one here is Malevolent Spirits Monogatari.
Oh, this is the one you told me was a 2 out of 10.
I
Okay,
hate that one so much.
I have never heard you hate it something like that. You're just like, no, it's a 2 out of 10. It's awful.
This is like
not even like
this is like
laughing at it or anything. You're just like, no, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is one of my most despised things I've watched in like the past year.
Okay.
I don't count
I
anything
need
like,
to watch it just to understand what that is for you. So
I don't count anything like the other like Marvel shows because those are terrible. But
yeah.
honestly, the lack of giving a shit really offends me because they just didn't put effort into anything.
Right.
I just can't.
Outcast is really furry. You just
I don't
finished the
I
second
don't know if
episode.
Outcast is
Not
actually
bad.
that bad. I'm just definitely not watching it. I don't like it. Yeah, okay. For ones that are like worth
I
more of
guess
a
we
look.
know what Alfarius does on a
Yeah,
weekend.
the ones I would say are definitely worth more of a look if you are into furry bait. Sure, take Tale of Outcast. That's fine. If you
Alex
want
Moore was out after 10 minutes on Malevolent. Oh my god.
if
I
you
need
want
to
a
see
like
this
terrible
show.
porn show, if you want a terrible porn show, you can watch Kai-san's Dog. And if you want to watch an
This is the
isekai,
worst hentai I've ever seen.
you can watch Chill in My 30s.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, the Robocosan is not much to say. It's just like a no, I'm not
It's like a
interested in the
gag comic, isn't
characters.
it?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in the joke. It's just I don't find it funny. Onimai may have rated too high, but I thought there were some things they did okay, you know?
Was it just me, or like when they started like even before the show started getting into like the really weird shit, when the girl was like walking down the hall, it was like every third frame was missing. Like it was really weird how like stuff just felt off about how it was animated, even before they start getting into like
I may not have been
telling little
paying enough
girls about like
attention.
clitoral stimulation. I'm like, this is not a show I'm gonna watch. Like, let's not do this.
Yeah, that's pretty gross, but yeah. I didn't think about it that much in terms of that aspect of the animation. I didn't really notice.
Yeah. Okay.
I just thought I was
it
not
was
very
so
interested in the
weird.
story, and there was too much creepy stuff going on. Even if there was
Yeah.
some stuff that could have been okay.
That was.
I actually I watched the second episode of Angel Spoiling Me Rotten,
Mhm.
and I liked it a lot better. I already moved it up. Like I already moved it up.
Oh, really? Okay. Because I was interested in that because
that one's not gonna be in that tier anymore.
I couldn't tell based on the first episode if it was just going to be this the entire season. You know, like where it's just like, okay, again, how is she going to be nice? How is he going to reject it? How is he going to eventually relent to it? Like, what's our?
I'd say it
our
is still
cycle?
more of. I'd say it's more of the same, but it's less. I hate the main character less than the second episode.
Oh yeah, fan site. Onimai is the worst thing I've ever seen.
That's fair. Yeah.
If people want to like vilify somebody for like something they believe or they made, I'd be okay if what they made was Onimai. And it's like, oh yeah, we can vilify. There's something in their closet that we need
You'll
to
start
take a
selling
look
pitchforks.
at.
Yeah, you'll start selling pitchforks for that.
So-
That's fair.
I'll start selling sticks now, and I'll sell lighters to turn them into torches later.
Yeah. Then we
All
got
right.
the.
I'm
then we got the
surprised
next
at
show,
you.
Which is Akashi Triangle.
Ayakashi Triangle. This is the second time in a row that we've had a perfect 5 out of 7 on the anime chart, and you're like, I don't like this show.
I don't like those shows. No, I don't like those shows.
Ninjas, yokai, jubblies. It's got everything. What could you be lacking?
It also has cat balls.
It does. The cat has got a scrote, and it's hilarious. It's like, why did you bother? It's an all-white cat. You like, this is weird. But then it's like, oh, he's the most powerful cat demon yokai, and you're like, oh, that's why. That's why he's got a scrote, because he's a powerful demon.
Also,
yokai.
he doesn't have ass cheeks. That's why you get to see him.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, it just didn't really have anything that interested me that much. So
can't wait for Mother's Basement to stand Onimai. Oh no,
he would too. He would talk about how artistic it is and about the woman's journey and how men aren't strong enough to handle a woman's powerful energy. He's the kind of person who would say that.
Taking a man like me and putting me into the shoes of a little girl, I wouldn't know what to do. And it's like, of course not, you fucking cuck. All right. Sorry, I'm going to rant if we keep on that line.
Yeah, Akashi Triangle didn't really have anything that interested me. There's some stuff that I thought was fine. I'll probably watch a couple more episodes, but I don't think I'm finishing it all.
Alex Moore peeked into the future, and he says that Ayakashi is not his thing either. So that's all right. It's all right. Not every show is going to be built for everybody.
Yeah, the sugar apple fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's a little bit odd. I find the world setting kind of interesting because fairies were like the dominant species, and then the humans found a way to fight back and became the slave masters. It's also just everything is a slavery in the show.
Of course it is.
The fairies are all slaves to humans now.
Okay, that's not what I was expecting this to be
No,
like.
everything is
Fate,
slavery. I
Callide,
mean,
Prisma,
yes,
Ilia, or
literally.
something.
Literally everything is a slavery now.
Oh no.
So yeah, they also have fairies of different sizes. Like this black guy, the guy in black, he's like taller than an average human, and he's a
Mm-hmm.
fairy. He's called a war fairy. But then there's like a little
Oh,
worker fairy you see, and he's like as small as a hand. Is like, what is he even gonna? Who's he gonna do?
tiny ferryman.
Yeah, like he
Gotcha.
uses his magic or something. But then he couldn't use his magic to fight against humans. If I don't know. Basically, the wing is also their life force. Their wings are their life force, so they steal a wing from the fairy to control them. Yeah. Also, the
Interesting. This
wings
sounds
are
really well thought out, but
There
like
are some cool ideas. Yes, yeah, there are some cool ideas they have with this.
maybe like it could have been an interesting video game, but it's a boring
I mean,
anime.
I think it works fine as an anime. It's just like not my thing very much because it seems like it's gonna be very much focused on them and they're gonna have a romance.
Yeah. Okay. Everything is slavery, and you have to point it out. Soranos Sarkeesian.
It's true.
Are we gonna have a new? Is there Anime Gate? Do we have that yet? Is that a thing?
Move up
Probably.
a little bit more.
All right, our fives, our 4.5s
Yeah.
to 5s.
I think I Sky and a school female colleague. I think it's okay.
Yeah,
And these are rated from left to right. These are higher, and then the ones on the right are lower.
100%. If I wasn't watching it with my wife, who really likes romance shows, and seeing how
I think there's one she'll like.
she
Yeah.
really likes it, I would not be watching it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think this actually is somewhat more female catered.
Yeah,
Because there's lots of the
Definitely.
like the cute little TT bits that seem to be more emotionally receptive for women.
well, in episode 2 is definitely like woman wanting a man she can protect bait. Like,
Yeah.
it's how can we make you caring for somebody also be really helpful to them? Really, it
Yeah, I
plays
think they
into
have
that
a nice, cute
fantasy.
little relationship.
Yeah,
It's just like not a super interesting show. I think there's stuff they do pretty well here, but yeah, again, it's not really a show that's for me. Spy Classroom. This is all based on the first episode, by the way. I
Yeah.
haven't touched this is entirely all first episodes for every one of these
I'm
shows.
I'm similar boat with first episode on Spy Classroom. Like, I really like Spy Classroom, but I like where I
There's some
think
stuff
it's
that's
going. I don't think I liked that first episode.
Yeah, there's some stuff that can be interesting later. I'm gonna obviously keep watching it, but the first episode wasn't really particularly good. It kind of flobbled around because it's trying to explain the world and stuff, but I didn't really get interested in any of the characters. The main girl's like, all right, but overall, it's like there was not very much stuff going on other than it was the little boat thing at the end. That whole little scene there. That was the only moment of quality that was entertaining.
Right. Yeah, the whole like I saw a head.
Like
'cause
the
I'm
entire
greatest
half
spy.
of the like so
That
much of the
whole
episode
half,
was
yeah.
just a setup for that bit. It's like you could have still done something else. You could have had something more interesting going on, like dialogue that was more fun or anything. They just
Yeah.
did not put a lot of effort into making the most of their time.
Yeah, I don't think it should have taken as long as it did just to introduce the tiny.
They could have done that in half an episode.
Yeah.
They could have done the whole thing in half an episode, and then they could have had something else happen.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we had Reborn to Master the Blade.
I like this show. Oh, yawn.
I
Why
had
did
a lot
yawn?
of misgivings of it.
Um,
Yeah. I had a lot of
I-
issues with the animation, particularly. I think you could see that.
yeah, I'd agree with that. I think the it's like one of those like I'm so intrigued by the premise and by like the idea of a guy who's like favored by the goddess so much that she's just like, what do you want? And he's like, I want to be able to train my sword. And then he's just like, oh, I'm a baby. It's like, it's just very silly to have the old guy narration coming out of this little baby. So like that really tickled me throughout that episode. And then this idea of just somehow the divine blessing or in some way his power has transferred into this like little girl body, and it's
Yeah,
like
the blessing he got previously, so he actually has a
yeah,
really,
and so it's
really
like
strong buff already.
it doesn't really explain that like, oh, I'm physically strong because of this blessing or anything like that. It's just like, oh, he just is now really strong. End of story. We don't really need to explain it. It's just
I
kind of
assume
funny.
the buff has some baseline increase rather than an actual percentage multiplier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
there was definitely things I like, and it could definitely get better.
I
Just
hope he gets a good team around him. I think the side characters are gonna make or break this show.
that's probably something
If
I'm a little bit worried about because we already see like the other cousin girl thingy, like
mhm.
the other cousin little girl, and she's just not. She doesn't present like an interesting character right now. And it doesn't seem like they would make her into one.
Yeah, if they're all cheerleaders, boring. I don't know if I'm
That's
gonna
my
finish it.
doubt.
But if
That's
they're
definitely
like
my doubt.
Joey Wheeler, where like they cheer, but then they're also active participants, then I'm in.
Because yeah, it's gonna turn like this guy is obviously gonna be like a hard carry of whatever he's doing or
Yeah.
she's doing. Because it's gonna be a she the whole rest of the show, anyways. Yeah, she's gonna be doing like everything because she's gonna be like the best swordsman to ever live, far better
Yep.
than he was in his previous life.
Exactly, because you can focus on it now.
So yeah, it's hard
She
to
can
see
focus on
what they're
it now.
gonna do to actually keep it interesting. Like there
Yeah.
might be some stuff that's okay, but that's like another thing. I don't think
They
they're gonna have that
they
much to keep it interesting, and their animation wasn't good enough to back it up for me. There wasn't like good fight scenes. I don't feel like there's gonna be good fight scenes to back up
Oh, they aren't
without
cheerleaders.
having
Okay,
a good
cool.
story.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
The way you do it to me is instead of having like, oh, is there a way that it could be um like not a guaranteed win, but just make it so that like the evolution itself of like the powers and the skill set is interesting in and of itself. You're more interested in like what's the next power as opposed to will they beat the boss.
Because I
That
was
that is a
interested
way
in
that you
that
can
when it
kind of
came
make those
to Slime
exciting.
Isekai. Slime Isekai did that well. That's what kept me interested because the power progression was fun.
Yeah.
And the continual expansion towards the city, it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. You had
I
city
just don't
builder and power
expect, yeah,
set.
I don't expect there to be that kind of stuff in that one. That's why I wasn't really big on that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we got Farming Life in Another World. I thought it was very much more average, but I did like it better than these. That's why I put it at the left. And
Yeah.
episode 2 actually made me bump it up directly up the tier list.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I will talk about that here because that does matter. Yeah, for the first episode, I saw some stuff that was like, all right, I could see them cutting corners and like doing some of the animation stuff because they didn't need to. There isn't really
Mm-hmm.
a need for some like action scene to be happening. It's like it's a farming show. It's supposed to be a chill, laid back show. You don't need to be throwing out animation money at fighting a rabbit.
Right.
Yeah, you don't
It's a
really need to do that.
pest.
So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna hold that against them. And they're just kind of going along, doing their thing, having them figure out the world and stuff. And yeah, it was nice. And then episode 2, what made me more interested was though he didn't initially go and say like, "Hey, marry me." He did end up saying, "Hey, marry me," and he's like, "Well, yeah, I guess I do mean that actually.
Yeah.
I guess I do mean that." And it's like, "Oh yeah, that guy is not a pussy." That's kind of nice.
There you go.
Yeah, because like specifically the vampire girl is the girl he runs into first.
I'm just excited because like this, I think this show is what I was thinking of when I tried to watch the last farming show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because his farming skill is overpowered for farming, but the only advantage he has other than that is his stamina boon, where he can just
Mm-hmm.
infinitely use his tool. He can keep
Yep.
using his tool so he turns into a wheelbarrow, he can run around. But that's his only overpowered ability.
Right.
So he has other, like his ability to use his skills that he can get advantage in other ways. Like in episode 2, he has like a spider that lives in his tree
Mm-hmm.
that they have a symbiotic relationship with. It's a little bit of a cheat that he gets to get cloth so easily, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't really. They kind of put. I think they kind of put themselves in a hole. And they're like, I don't actually know what I want to do to have him survive the winter. Otherwise,
Yeah.
so
But at
they
least you've
kinda-
got like a thing where it's like he has to do something to survive, right?
yeah. They kind of messed that up, but I think they'll probably do pretty well to keep this a nice progressive show
There
in
you go.
terms of like him the progression. Because you see in the first episode like the whole farm he's got and stuff like that, what he's going to build up to.
Yeah.
You can see how he's going to keep building towards that. Yeah, I thought
Exciting.
it was all right, and I did bump it up after this one. And then this one here is the Exorcist show.
Exorcist show.
It was a little bit hit and miss. The one thing I liked the least was his family. So I see that's something I see way too much, is that he has two older brothers, and one of them is just an asshole for no reason.
Mm.
Like they just like attack, or not like literally attack him, but
They just take
one of
the
his brothers
evil
did, but
stepsister trope
yeah, they
and do it for no reason.
they just do it and run with it. It's like every single protagonist is like having that being the primary conflict. Like you want a conflict to have episodes have tension, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not interesting at this point, because like this guy's clearly going to be more powerful than his siblings because he's reincarnated master of sorcery.
Yeah.
It's like they're not gonna stand a chance against him and like actually fighting him. And spoilers, when they do fight him, or one of his brothers fights him, they get annihilated.
Yep.
It wasn't close.
Makes sense.
So it's not like there's actual interesting stuff going on, because you know he's gonna win. So they're just having him be bullied because there's got to be something happening. They couldn't find out anything to have going on.
They can't give him a flaw, so they just make people hate him. Like,
Yeah,
oh, that's a
it's
flaw. He's being bullied. Look at that. Pathetic.
Yeah. I do like the idea of him just having a completely different magic system coming into a different world.
Interesting.
Because
That
the
is
way
an
his magic
interesting
works
idea.
is not the same, because he is an exorcist. And
But
they
it
don't have
still
that.
works.
Yeah. Because he can still do the same
Interesting.
exorcist thing, but their like magic system, he doesn't have any affinity for it. So you can't use any of their specific magics. He kind of has to fake
Gotcha.
that he has magic. One thing I did like was that his father, well, sort of his father. His father's hit and miss, but one thing I liked from his father maybe is rewritten after the fact, but his father is written that he's supposed to be smart enough to realize his son isn't doing magic. He knows that his son's not doing magic. That there's something else going on here.
Interesting.
And also because of his hair color and his eyes are not normal.
And that's how he knows he can't do magic. I don't.
Or
That's
no, it's like that's part of the thing. He knows he's not his son in the same way.
Oh, he's like, you're the milkman's boy. Like,
It's not specifically that, but he knows there's something weird going on there, because there's no reason for a kid like him to be born to look like that.
gotcha.
Yeah, his father's pretty suspicious. It seems like his father's treating him weird, like he's treating him worse than he should as well. If he's the runt of the family, I feel like he was treating him a little bit too harshly. But he did end up sending him to the magic school over his other brother that he beat, because his brother was just a raging asshole. It's just like bullying for no reason. His oldest brother, rather than his middle brother, was actually kind to him, even though he's a little bit cold towards him initially.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a more like middle of the pack show, just like
Which one is
Ningen
this?
Fushin. Ningen Fushin.
Ningen
Adventures You
Fushin,
Don't
yeah.
Believe in Anything. This one is
I'm not excited to watch the second episode. People are like, "Oh, the second episode gets better," and I'm like, "Yeah, but the first episode was so boring."
Yeah, the first
I don't know
episode
if I want to
was
watch the second
odd.
one.
The first episode's pacing was pretty bad. Didn't really
It's like-
show off that much.
You
It
could
didn't really make
have-
you excited for the characters either. Yeah.
I'll make it better in an instant. You have the character, the first dude. You follow him getting rejected. Then he goes to the bar, and everybody else is like dejected. And then they're all like, "I was rejected," and they all kind of like commiserate or whatever. And then they leave the bar. They don't tell each other every backstory or whatever. And then the beginning of the next 3 episodes tell the backstory for each of the characters. So it sort of starts with a flashback to the tavern. They tell their story. So we learn about the Me Too cleric. We learn about the dragon girl. We learn about everybody's backstory sort of in these flashbacks at the beginning of every episode, rather than front loading everybody's story one after one after one. I think it would be a little bit better to drag it out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the person who made this is not good at writing.
Yeah.
I don't think the person who made this is good at writing stuff. That's why it's towards the middle. I actually have favor towards like the character design. I actually kind of like the character designs themselves, how they put those together.
Yeah.
I like the dragon girl. I like her design's fine. The other mage girl. The other two guys are okay as well. It is towards the middle. Yeah, there's some stuff I could have hoped that it could get better because of the
It kind of
premise.
looks like Uwadarumono. Utawarerumono. If you've seen any of that animation, it looks very similar in the character designs to me.
Yeah. I don't have that much to say on it because it really, like, the first episode is boring.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll watch some more episodes and see how it is. Revenger, I did like the first episode. I didn't have super high hopes for going for it. This is the 6. These 3 are the 6 range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to
I
see some
like
more
the
of it and
second
have it
episode of
I want it to
Revenger.
prove itself to me more so.
I really like Revenger. It's right up my alley. it's actual samurai times. We've got sort of that foreign influence that like the Tokugawa shogunate completely locked out of the country because every time you got some amount of foreign influence, like Christians came in with their clocks and they came in with guns and they came in like there's all this history of like some sort of missionary showing up and like kind of changing the way that Buddhism works in Japanese history. And it always leads to some kind of war or battle or something. It's very weird if you look at Japanese history. But I find all of those sort of period pieces very fascinating. And this one is done very well, personally.
Yeah, that was one thing I definitely liked was the environments. They did a very good job drawing environments and really
Yep.
setting you in the area. That was my favorite part of the show for me. As well
Very.
as the just him going and setting them up to drive out the guy he wanted to kill because he wanted
Yep.
to get revenge himself.
Oh, and
Because
his,
he had that plan the whole way through. You could see it.
dude, the second episode, the doctor character, he's a badass. He is Goff.
Yeah, the guy with
from,
the gold leaf.
No, not the gold leaf guy. The guy with the ponytail who's like giant. He is
Oh, that
Goff
guy.
from Dark Souls. It's amazing. He's got a freaking Dragon Slayer bow, and it's just, like he can only fire it once, and then he's like steaming because he's so hot. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, I do like. That's one thing I like. I think the character's kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. The second episode was great.
There's no reason for me not keep watching it. Definitely gonna keep on that one. See how it turns out. High card. I talked about. I trashed a little bit. I made a little bit of a joke going overboard with over past 2 hours with the gayness of it.
It can be there, and it can
But
still be a fun
it's definitely
show.
the style. It's definitely the style. It's also
Hisoka exists.
It's the lankiness of the characters.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the
I
characters
see
are
what you're
pretty
saying.
lanky and lean.
Yeah.
That's like something a lot of women like in terms of like their boys love.
Their
manga.
husbandos, their
Yeah.
BLs. Gotcha.
That's something a lot of people look for. And I actually was wrong. I was thinking it was like I think it was the black suited one. She looked like a trap to me, but it turns out it's actually a girl voiced by a girl. I was like, oh, okay.
Interesting.
I was like, I didn't think they were gonna do that. I thought it was gonna be all men.
They untrapped you. You got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Like
I thought it was
Clint?
gonna be one of those shows that's just gonna be 5 guys. It's gonna be like a pretty boy harem.
Right.
And they're all gonna be in like situations together where they're like sweating and fighting each other and all this kind of stuff. It probably won't turn out quite like that then. Underselling the gay.
Nothing is lanky like Clamp fan site.
It's also not as lanky as what was it, Code Geass?
Yeah, Code Geass.
Nothing's gonna hit Code Geass.
Crazy arms going on.
It's just like your arms are like 6 feet long.
Oh
I
my
did not
goodness.
really like the system of combat. It did not seem that interesting. I didn't like the idea. It's like, oh, you have gloves. It's like, oh, that's what you do. You have your card. Instead of like doing something like having an apparition appear, it's just like, oh, you have gloves now, and that's your power up. You're in your fighting stance. You play your card. Gloves.
I do like that the one guy has a gun that pops up and then like the guy in the second episode, like he just physically changes. But like the gloves, I think the issue they ran into is that the powers are like, oh, I'm invincible when this happens, or I'm really lucky, or I can
They're
turn
so
shit into marbles. And
nebulous.
so they have like, it's not really like a visual power that they have. And they're like, well, how do we indicate that every character has activated their power? Gloves? Like it
Yeah,
is
I
kind of
just think
weird.
the power sets they chose are absolute garbage.
Right.
I think that's really gonna hold back for me. I don't think I'm gonna finish this one. I think it is much more likely that Avenger be dropped. There's some things I thought they did pretty well that were
Mm-hmm.
like well paced and interesting because they kept flowing through all the different scenes pretty well. Did pretty good on that. It kept me interested in that aspect, but I definitely think I'm gonna lose interest in terms of the power set. I didn't expect it to be quite that uninteresting when I was going in. I was like, oh, I was very much disappointed by that.
I
It's like you're
I
using cards. You can do anything you want, basically, and then
yeah, I mean they do anything they want.
they do anything they want, but they didn't want to do something cool.
Or maybe they're saving cool for the Jack Kings and Queens.
Yeah, we'll see those at the end of the season, I'm sure. After we watch 10 episodes of stuff we didn't like.
Exactly. It'll be like, oh man, you just skip the first 9 and then it gets great.
Yeah, just skip the first entire bit of the series. Actually, skip the first season and a half. The last arc gets really good.
Man. All right, Moe
Ippon
Pone.
again. Mu Ippon. Oh yeah, this is a fun little show. Just girls reminiscing. I like the way the character dialogues went through the episode. Just them talking to each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just nice to see them just kind of talk to each other. Cute girls throwing each other on mats.
Yeah, I like they talk about how it like they're physically like hurting. And, like, yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how careful you are when you're in some sort of contact sport. Like you're gonna get hurt. And the other thing for me too was like some of the like little things that the characters were doing were like, yeah, these are clearly little middle schoolers. Like,
yeah, they took
I
a
keep
lot
going
of
back to
care
like
with
putting
the animation.
hanging her bag on her head.
Yep.
Like I'm not kidding when every time you see a group of like school kids with like all their matching hats and matching uniforms walking down the street in Japan, one of them is holding their bag by having the strap over their forehead.
Exactly one, too.
Always.
Exactly one. Yeah,
Exactly one.
They took a lot of care of getting the little details right, and that's something I
Mhm.
definitely appreciate seeing.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel like they very much care about what they're doing as well.
Exactly.
And this is something I think would carry over from like the manga or whatever it was, like these details. But I
Mhm.
still very much appreciate that it exists at all. And
Yeah.
even though
And
the characters are kind of tropey in terms of like their base personality traits,
yep.
I think they do it pretty fine. Yeah, I
It,
think they actually
it
do a fine job with it.
it'll be fine. I'm excited to get into the actual like matches to see how
To see them doing it more.
yeah, to see how much they stick to like I'm actually just doing judo and how much of it is like I have the magic heel twist that allows me to, or if they do something dumb like that or if they just are having a match. I'm interested
Yeah.
to see which way it goes.
For my prediction of this, it seems like since that one girl like went to nationals who beat our main character in the first episode is with them, they're probably going to grow off each other quite a bit and actually very much get better at playing judo.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that could easily happen, and they don't need to be too focused on time because they're now just entering high school, so
Mhm.
they can have a lot of time to go through them improving. They can skip parts they don't want to bother spending time on.
Yeah.
Like
we're
they're
we're
time
not with
skipping.
the this is the senpai's last time.
Yeah, because they already did that. They literally already got over with that.
Yeah, we
In middle
finished
school,
that
it's
in the
like,
middle school
yeah,
one.
we
Yeah.
already got over all that drama. That's like we moved on from that.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that first episode, especially the ending animation was extremely well done and detailed. It was very
Mhm.
good. The second episode I did watch as well. They didn't really do anything like that. It was not as good animation. I'd be worried if they don't try to keep up with
Ooh, okay.
the first episode.
Yeah.
I'd be worried if they don't eventually show more of that because I do need to see some good fighting action. That's definitely gonna need.
It's a
It's gonna be
fighting
what's
show.
needed.
You'll have to
Yeah.
do it at some point.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bring that out, or I'm just not gonna keep watching because that's something I came to your show for.
Yep.
Other shows are gonna provide that, and if you can't, yeah, sorry, it's not gonna be worth keeping up. Yeah, Buddy Daddies.
Buddy daddies.
I'm pretty sure we talked about it before on stream, but I
We
definitely had
did.
issues. Yeah, I definitely had issues with the first episode, just like how it was presented.
Yep.
It feels like they're gonna make cuts like that in the whole of like just the series going forward.
And then second episode is like, oh, I'm using the scope on my gun. And then, oh, I'm up close. Let me hold it at a 45 so I can use the iron sights. And you're like, wow, that's really good attention to detail.
Yeah.
Maybe you should also know that the problem is Japanese people are very, very familiar with airsoft guns. So like tactical stuff, how guns function, how guns look, they have basic 1-to-1 replicas of every firearm you could think of in the world in the form of their airsoft game. But when it comes to what those guns can do at the other end of the barrel, they have no idea what's going on. So
they've never actually shot a gun. They're not
exactly. Exactly.
You have to shoot a gun and see the damage it can do before you really realize what a gun is.
So this.
I mean, just watch a YouTube video about 9mm versus full plate armor.
Just watch some Demolition Ranch videos. Exactly.
Yeah, watch some Demolition Ranch. Exactly. You see them shoot a suit of armor with a 9mm. It completely destroys it. It goes right through. It goes right through a person and the armor all in one go. That's what a gun does.
No, it's funny.
Yeah, guns are very strong. I really like the little girl. She's adorable.
Second episode, you cringe. She still had range while I go CQB.
That's fair. That's fair.
Just fall back.
Thing to question most of the time.
You got the higher ground.
Yeah, I like the characters and their dynamic of. Obviously, they're extremes because they want to make it more interesting.
Yeah, it's opposites attract. It's let's have some fun.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be some good stuff there. I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing this season. I'm expecting to. Yeah. Good first episode. Definitely some misgivings towards like shortcuts they'll take. Yeah, right, Cana of the Great Snow Sea. Great Snow Sea.
This one's an all CG, correct?
Yes, it is. It was much prettier than I was expecting. Coming off of stuff like Ajin, I think that was the last thing I saw from them. I don't think I watched anything. Yeah, it's been years since I watched an anime from them.
Did they also do the old man who turns into a fighting robot?
Yep, they did that one.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'd have to double check, but I think
we can double check later. I'll just state it as a fact right now, and then the internet can yell at me later.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten better in their animation because they're actually capable of doing humans now. Because Ajin was not humans. Those are still dolls.
Those were animatrons, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely weaknesses. They're not Studio Orange at all. They're not as good as them, but I was happy with the animation I saw on display. And I am interested in exploring the world more. I very much liked how they displayed it. It looked very nice. Especially the like ice dome on top of the world where our main protagonist comes from.
You've got enough intrigue in like the way that the world works that you can like look past a few animation flaws here and there.
Yeah. I have no idea how the characters are going to turn out. You really didn't see anything from the characters in the first episode. There was a lot of just like, you
just like world establishing this entire episode.
Yeah.
We don't even talk about characters.
You get to see a little bit of their situation. You don't get to learn that much about them.
Okay.
Like the main thing you get from what you get from the main guy is he wants to see the world, and he knows that he's gonna have to start living on his own because he lives in this giant tree spire that holds up the dome. He goes out and hunts bugs for food, and he's living with a bunch of old people because there's almost nobody alive in these tree domes because they're dying. They're not providing sustaining like life to the people that live in them. It's like all the people that were living in these spires are dying, and he's like the last people ever born in one of those, so he's gonna have to leave. He's gonna have to go to the surface and find his way in the world. And that's gonna be the plot of the show. And at the end of the first episode, he runs into the female protagonist who just barely escaped death from like bandits. like her crew that were riding on like basically a cart pulled on the snow by like sea lions, like snow
Mhm.
sea lions. Yeah,
I
they
think that
managed to
was in
save
Breath of the
her.
Wild,
Yeah,
but
they
a
managed to put.
desert.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they managed to put her in like a hot air balloon with like some creature attached to it. I
Huh.
don't know exactly. They're like trying to hunt it for food or something or fuel. I'm not exactly sure.
This whole world makes no sense based on all the words you just said in a row. I was like,
So yeah,
the hell's
basically you have
going
the ice
on?
dome on top, and then there's a snow sea on the planet's surface, like way
Yeah,
down.
like a
And
giant
these people
ice
like ride
igloo.
on like creatures or like a giant raiding ship, like a
Mhm.
giant ironclad ship, apparently hunting after the this girl's tribe.
Hmm.
Yeah, her people got like a group of her people got wiped out, and they managed to save her and get her away from them by putting her on a weird bug thing, attaching a basket to that. I don't really know what's going on there, but apparently
Gotcha.
that thing can just keep floating up into the sky and gets up to the dome where he runs into her and saves her from just suffocating in space. Because that's gonna
Gotcha.
happen. Uh, and that's where the episode ends. It's just
Just
like they don't,
stops.
like I said, they don't really give you much to go on in terms of who these characters are like going to be and what motivates them outside of the main character knowing that he has to live. He just has to keep
Huh.
on living. Also,
Gotcha.
yeah, she's a princess apparently, or something like the
Of
last hope of
course
their
she
tribe.
is.
I
Of
don't
course
know how
she's a
that works in
princess.
anything, but like I said, it's like we don't really know anything about this like person. We don't know anything about what she cares about other than it's like, oh, she wants to be good for her people.
Yes.
Bow furry is more bow furry. A little bit
Yeah.
weird first episode. There was some good animation in it though. There's some stuff they did pretty well that I liked. They had really good use, or the main thing they had good use of, I'd say, was the effects, like
Mm.
extra like explosion effects and stuff like that. I think
Adding
was
that
pretty
bit
nice.
without making it look too crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think they did a good job like adding that in just the right amount, making him look nice.
I would
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, there wasn't too much to talk about before. You've seen the first season. You're gonna keep watching the second season. It's mostly gonna be the same thing. I don't think it's gonna
Yep.
be better or worse. It's just gonna be more of the same slice of life MMO adventure.
Yeah. I'm just excited to hit that next level of like, what's the next weird power that she gets, right? We've got the gun god, we've got
Every
the
power is
alien
a weird
thing.
thing.
Like, yeah.
Everything she gets is weird.
What's the
Yeah.
next weird thing she gets?
Yeah, then we got like the saving 80,000 gold in another world. She actually wants to save like 160,000, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but she wants to save tons and tons of money so she can
Yeah,
retire.
the math, I was like, what is she? She wants how much money, but she needs double that so she can have enough depending on which world she ends up in. Like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
I'm not exactly sure. She doesn't know if her power is going to give out at some point, I guess. So she doesn't know if she's gonna always going to be able to teleport back and forth. So she wants a big stash in both places.
Right,
She might
right.
eventually lose her teleport power. So she's going to use her teleport power to go between worlds and just try to make a lot of money. And I think that's going to be pretty fun.
Let's see, how much does a gold coin weigh?
It was her gold coin is worth $200.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, I think it was worth like a ton of yen, which is $200.
1 gold troy ounce. So 1 troy ounce typically for a gold coin. Anyway.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
wants to
No,
save
I'll
up
be
like over $500,000 in each world to like live comfortably. Now you'd need a lot less to live in the ancient world, but
might as well.
yeah,
Might as well just double it. It's quick maths.
yeah, just might as well get
1 + 1 is 2.
get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
agree. Second episode, there was gun stuff, and it was good gun stuff, teaching her properly how to use her weapon because she was like
yeah.
picking up. You saw it?
No, I haven't seen the second one yet. Just
Yeah,
the first
basically, she
one.
has a couple different weapons. She gets like a revolver. She gets like a Beretta. She gets, I think she gets a, what was that? A Walther P something, just like some Walther
PPK.
pistol. It could be that.
It does.
Yeah,
Is it
they made
like
me
James
compare a
Bond
couple of
gun, or
different.
does it have a long, skinny barrel?
I'm pretty sure it's a shorter one. Alex Moore could remind me.
Because the
Probably.
shorter one's going to
I
be a
think he
PP
remembers
or
better.
PPK or PPKS, and then the other one that's the Walther is always a P38.
Yeah, I would trust Peer Van Fast. I forgot the name of it.
Okay.
Yeah, basically showing her how to use different guns and stuff, and how to use burst fire, and just like train her how to shoot better. Just
Does it
like
keep
she's learning a
using
lot of
the?
different skills to protect herself, and also to like sell stuff.
Does it keep using the brotherly flashback? Is that how she keeps learning things?
No, that's just
Okay.
like she kind of it's more of her own thoughts, really. Like her it's like stuff she talked about with her brother before.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because that was one thing I like couldn't like. It felt like it was just her remembering her brother saying stuff, but at the
Yeah, she
same
wasn't
time, I
like
was
really
like,
talking
"What?
with her
Can
brother.
you now just like communicate with your bro? Is he just like helping you out as your guidepost? Is he your Navi now?" But
No, she has to figure out this stuff herself, but there's stuff she got from her brother that are the information that's useful.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Awesome.
but some high woman's gonna get a real kick.
Oh, PPQ. Got it.
Yeah, some high woman's gonna get a real bad day when he gets a face full of lead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, giant beasts of ours. Pretty interesting. It really gave you a lot of the characters to see. Yeah. Whereas I would say like the Snow Sea didn't really give you much characters. You got quite a bit of the characters of Giant Beast of Ours. They gave you a lot of their
Yeah.
personality. They let you know them pretty well and like how they're situated in the world. The slave girl who is a science experiment to try to advance their technology and magics basically, and that's why she ends up connecting really well with this ring
Yeah.
that is supposedly going to be attached to the hero, the person that saves the world. That's
Mm-hmm.
like her gonna be her story arc. And then this guy here, or, yeah,
The
the guy
paladin
next
man.
to her is the paladin that she's gonna be with.
I
And
like
I
the
don't know his
paladin.
backstory wholly, but
Yeah.
yeah, you don't know that much about him yet. But you gotta see his personality. He is pretty uninterested. He mostly just wants to keep living his own life
Mm-hmm.
without attachments. But now he's gonna have this girl attached to him because he doesn't really have any other choice. He kind of has to save her, and he can't stop himself from not saving her.
I like that we can use like clear archetypes of like this is a guy who lost a loved one in the past and now wants
Yeah.
nothing to do with any of this shit. And we immediately all already understand it, and they aren't wasting time with more characterization beyond the flashback to him.
Yeah, we
seeing,
don't need any more flashbacks
yeah,
of him.
it's like we're
Like
done. We
we
don't need
fully
any more.
understand
Let's
it.
just stick with it. And so far, so good.
And yeah, he
It
should
is
be
kind of
a
weird
good
when they
mentor,
join
honestly.
though, and his body like splits open, and she like crucifies into him. Like that's a little like, huh?
I think
That's
it's
some
kind of
strange
funny.
symbolism we got going on.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. I think this is a cool show. There's a lot of stuff I liked in
Yeah,
that first episode, and definitely gonna keep checking it out.
good, good,
Yeah,
good, good.
they got more stuff here. We got the Magical Revolution. Didn't watch the second one yet.
Me
I did
neither.
see I saw basically the first chapter of the manga. I was like, ooh, this is cool. Never
Yep.
checked out any more of it. But I was like, hey. Then I watched the first episode. I was like, hey, this is
I'll
cool.
wait for this to be
I
an
haven't checked out
anime.
any more of this. But I very much enjoyed it. I like the female main character. You were talking about, and you didn't really get the brother at all. I got all of the stuff that was going on with the brother. I was paying
Yeah,
attention.
interesting.
It was kind of funny, yeah. I mean, there's some stuff I pay more attention to. There's stuff I pay less attention to, like that.
hmm It was
There's
more
always that
like
kind of difference.
I felt like there was an entire show that we could have seen involving the brother. Because that entire uh like that's the real classic Otome game thing is like, oh, I'm
Yeah, and
leaving
that's why
the
we
person
skipped
I'm
it.
betrothed to.
Yeah,
But
that's why
it's
we skipped
like
it. That's
I
something
just
that's in
wanted a
all these
little
other
more.
ones.
I just wanted
Yeah,
a little more.
yeah. Part of the point is the fact that the way they cut it in the manga, the way they cut it in like the manga adaptation,
hmm
she just starts by crashing in here because that's like the
Oh, really?
part that matters. Yeah, she starts by crashing this because she doesn't pay attention to that. That's why we don't focus on it because she isn't focused on her brother at all. She's focused on herself. She wants to
Yeah,
make her magic. She wants to be able to fly. She's been
right.
focused on it her whole life. She has no idea what's going on with her brother, and that's why
Gotcha.
it's actually a big surprise. And it sets it up here. You get to see a lot of. It's much more set up here than it is in the manga because
hmm
you get to see more of him and you get to see how it's set up and like his own issues and angers with his sister and like the way his life is
hmm
because
How
he
he's
very much does
stuck.
not like how his life is right now. Like you see, he says in the episodes like he wants to choose his own path. That's why he's specifically going with this because there's somebody nobody would ever want him to be with.
Right.
She's somebody who doesn't really
Nobody
treat
wants
him
me to
different.
be with you, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
be with you.
it actually matters more here because like she's a commoner and she doesn't treat him like he's anybody special.
Yeah.
Like that's the way
Okay.
he describes it anyways. Like it's actually more impactful because you just see this backside of what he's thinking about
hmm
and just like the little snippets you get of him. So I very much actually like the brother character here.
Very fun.
Yeah, I think it did a really good job characterizing him properly. You don't get to see much of his fiance that he like ends up dumping, but I think we're going to see a lot more of her coming up because obviously they're going to be spending a lot of time with each other.
Yeah, that would make sense. So that
Yeah.
she can be with the one that's like casting magic and like can actually do magic, so that she can learn more about making these tools.
Yeah, and be able to be closely with somebody like this who's actually doesn't really have anything else they can do now because they got ostracized, sort of, and they're in a really weird situation because of her brother. Yeah, helps her out a lot. Yeah, Handyman Saito, that was very fun. I like the lore. I like all these different characters you get to see, just little snippets here and there. Like I mentioned before, I want to see more story stuff, continual progress on the episodes, arcing a each and every one.
Yeah,
But overall, it was just still
I kind
fun.
of feel like it's going to end up being this like short little bits of just almost slice of life of the handyman. But I would like to see a overarching, like, we're going to defeat the demon lord kind of thing, just because that's kind of the thing with these isekai. It's like we get a weird power set, or we get an interesting setting. We get some sort of weird monkey wrench into that traditional formula, and then we want to see how you can take that monkey wrench and still become the ultimate powerful badass of the world.
Also, I think the Magical Revolution show is Yuri. I'm pretty sure it's Yuri. I could double
Gotta
check
be.
though. Yeah, we'll see if it's in the tags. Yeah, just go over here really quick back for that. Yeah, there isn't really too much that needs to be said about Handyman. You can just watch a little bit of it and you'll figure out if you like it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
if
'cause
if
it is
you watch the
honestly
first
really
one,
cool.
you'll know if you're into it.
It won't take very much time. Yeah, it's definitely a Yuri.
Yep, this is Yuri.
I was like, that's a 96%. I was like, yeah, that's Yuri.
That's a lot of Yuri.
I was like, I'm pretty sure, but we'll double check here. We'll double check for you, Alex. We're looking out for you, buddy. Yeah, we talked about Endo Kobayashi Live. The whole different perspective on it is really fun. Much different
Exactly.
perspective. The
You've
only
got,
other
like,
one
two
that we've
groups
seen
to
so
follow.
far.
It's nice.
Yeah, we've only seen one different take on the villainous so far. We have like the All Routes Lead to Doom. That's a pretty basic one. Person wants to avoid their death. It's presented as a comedy, as most. Well, I wouldn't even say most, but lots of them are. Because they follow All Routes Lead to Doom. That's
Exactly.
like that's the standard one. That was the first one. That's what lots of people are going to know now coming into anime.
Yep. It's said a little like
I'm
this is the
assuming
way
the
we
final
do
boss
this.
is a little bit different. It wasn't really that high quality of one. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorites. I mostly just like the first arc because it was like just like a fun short thing, and it works well as a self-contained couple episodes.
Right. You get the little like the house builder and everything, and it's like, ooh, this is kind of fun.
Now, from the other side, you had the mob character in Villainous Otome game.
Oh, okay.
That one is also a little bit different. Yeah, because you see it from a mob character's perspective.
But that one's weird because like the whole game is weird. Like,
oh yeah,
like robots, and then
there's a lot of like
farming.
interesting stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on with that one. I really like just how weird it is. Yeah, that one is another take on it, and then now we're getting another take. That's what it kind of needs to succeed. You can obviously have one that's extremely well done, but otherwise it's not going to grab a lot of people if it's not going to have some cool like gimmick. And this is a cool gimmick because they're separated from it by another layer. These characters have to interpret what they're saying. Tsundere.
Yeah, that when they translated it to like almost French, I was like, oh my gosh, of course. Someone in like this semi-British world doesn't speak Japanese. Like that's what they hear.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
You thought they can
like,
understand them because of the language. Like, it's
yeah,
like,
how can you understand the fact he's speaking Japanese but you don't know the modern things?
It doesn't make any sense because there isn't a translation for that. A proper translation, like, really.
Right. Even when he tells him what it means, he's like, it's when she starts out soon and then is dere. It's like, he doesn't know what soon means.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, because it's not properly translated. Because it doesn't really need to, because you can understand what it means. Just talk to somebody. It's like, oh yeah, it's somebody who's sweet or sweet.
Yeah,
and
it took him 2 seconds to be like, oh, she's angry, but she's actually like happy. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to understand the description, but it's like, oh. when you see the click in his head, it's so fun.
Like when she breaks the wand and then goes to give her the new one, and he's like, "Oh!" It's like,
Oh,
he's so happy. He's so excited.
I love the characters. The characters are so fun, and just the way they react to it. Everything just works really well in this.
Exactly.
It's probably gonna go up from here. Even I really
hope
enjoyed
so.
it. Yeah.
Again, what I want to see is I want to get a little more of like them, like what needs to happen is the girl needs to realize that like she has feelings for the guy, I think. Cuz she sort of like starts out clearly oblivious to like that whole being like a possibility maybe.
The commoner girl or the
No,
our
the
girl,
real
main
world girl.
Yeah.
Endo.
Because yeah, all the other it's funny. All the other classmates know. They already know that.
Yeah,
Oh, he
exactly. And
likes
I
her.
want to see her realize, because we've already seen that the dude is like kind of nervous about it, and he's like, "Wow, your older sister's hot. Oh, you're cute too." Like, he's already feeling it, but she's just like, "Yeah, let's play this game," and she's very like, what would the modern term would be asexual about the whole situation. But I want to see her realize and like bloom into that. I think that'll be a fun story to follow.
Yeah, she's like just she's an otaku. She loves video games. It's funny seeing it from the opposite perspective gender wise, because it's kind of normal for a guy to be chasing a girl, but the fact that she's an otaku and he isn't is very funny.
Yeah.
He's very much a normie when it comes to this. That's one thing I like a lot
But
as well.
he's like down to play. It's really fun.
Yeah,
It's
he
really
likes
sweet.
anime somewhat, but he's not like a big fan of the stuff. He knows kind of what these are, but he's not like into the culture.
Mm-hmm.
But he likes her, so he wants to spend time with her and learn her stuff.
Mm.
And it feels like a very realistic and very fun way for a relationship to be starting between them.
I'm guessing we're gonna get a older sister teases her about it at some point, or is like, "Oh, is your boyfriend coming over?" And then we have like her whole face turns red moment where she realizes like, "Oh, do I have feelings for him?" And then the next one is like kind of awkward.
She probably wouldn't even I would say at the start she wouldn't even think about it. She just kind of brush it off initially, then she starts thinking about it more and she's like, "Oh, I do like him."
She needs to go from asexual to sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, I like
Exactly.
all the characters. I think all the characters are fun. And just like the way they go through the story is pretty nice so far. Definitely recommend. Like the way I have this set up, also, obviously anything this down low, we're not gonna recommend this to anybody.
Yeah, no recommendations.
These shows are definitely more of the middle level. There's some stuff I like, at least somewhere in there.
If there's something in that show that like if you're a kid where like you got sent to judo and you did judo, watch Moe Pone.
There's gonna be some
into
niche of people that are probably gonna like these or these shows. Like either there's gonna be some niche that makes it a pretty good show for some people, or it's gonna be pretty mediocre overall. Like that's what Nigan Fusion seems like. It's pretty mediocre. It's gonna be towards the middle. I might lower it down a little bit depending on watching more.
But if you were recently rejected by a group of people, it may really speak to you. So like this midsection isn't like bad anime. It's just very like eh.
Yeah, and something like this one, like you said, your wife, she very much likes this. This is something that definitely appeal to her. Like there's a group of people that is actually going to appeal to a lot. I'm not one of those groups, so I have it towards the middle. Yeah, I could very much appreciate the things that I like about it, but it's okay. It's not something I'm usually going to finish,
right?
Because there's just a lot of other stuff. Then really, even when we get to like the 6.5, this is something I would start recommending to more people. Like these shows that are like I would rate like technically towards the middle, but there's definitely a lot of stuff I like in shows like these. There's some very strong points.
When you're in this range, like if you recommend Giant Beasts of Ours to someone and someone's like, I don't think I like that show, you understand it. Like you're not mad. You're not like, the fuck's wrong with you? Like you're not upset that they don't like it, but you're kind of like, really? Like you're not a fan of that? Like that's weird.
If you like some kind of slice of life show, like if you fit what Bofuri is, like that fits something you like, you're gonna like it. It's gonna be an enjoyable show. It's gonna appeal to you because this is where like Ice Guy's Cool Female Colleague would be more of like a 7 if I was into that type of show.
Exactly.
That's what this is. Like Bofuri, because that's a kind of show I like. That's why I have it right about here. That's where it hits for me. If somebody likes my kind of stuff, this is about where they'll put it probably. It's like, yeah, this is a fun show I like. And Buddy Daddies, something that's like maybe could be even higher for somebody that it appeals to more, and I might end up taking it higher depending on how much I like it, how much these other episodes show me. Right now, it's got some positive qualities. I like it. I would say this is kind of stuff people should check out. These are kind of the shows that are kind of cool. And then once we get to like the 7.5 stuff and like higher, this is the kind of shows like I'll start recommending to most people's like this is one of the better ones I've seen in the genre. Like
Mhm.
this is like one of the better villainous shows. I actually would recommend this over All Routes Lead to Doom.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, I would recommend this
Easily.
like All Routes Lead to Doom is like pretty decent comedy. I would
All
probably
routes
put it
lead to
more.
the
I put
other
it a
villainous
tier
shows
lower.
are held back by being reincarnations, by being isekais.
Possibly, I wouldn't specifically say that, but generally, it's the writing is not quite as interesting. It's a little bit more straightforward and less is going on. A lot of the other characters are kind of just played out slower, and it doesn't really keep you as invested.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, yeah, because Endo and Kobayashi Comedy Live has a nice gimmick that really brings it to a different level.
Exactly.
This gives you something new that
It's
a
got
lot
a
of people
whole
will
nother layer to
appreciate.
it, you know?
Yeah, it's like an
A whole
onion.
nother level of enjoyment.
Yeah. And then we have the two rom-coms. Well, actually,
So the one on the right
right on the
here,
right is not a rom-com.
I remember reading the description and thinking, yeah, and that's why I haven't started this one yet. This is the Kobo won't let me
Kubo.
be invisible. Kubo.
Kubo won't let me be invincible. It was way better than I was expecting.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was like I have it up here. Yeah, like you heard me talk about how much I like this one. I have this one above it. I like this one more.
Really?
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that first episode. A lot of it was just their interactions were so nice. Like they had such good chemistry with the characters,
Yeah,
and it felt so fun.
that makes sense.
Yeah, the characters are really fun together. We only really needed to see the two main characters in the first episode because they had a lot of stuff to talk through and just like little interactions to have in class.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kubo has a lot of fun reactions. It's extremely well animated. That's one thing I liked about it a lot. It looks very nice. And she has so many cute little faces she puts, and they're gonna keep pulling them out too. I feel like they're gonna have a nice backlog of stuff.
Just a bunch of cute reaction faces through the entire show. Okay.
I'd say it's definitely similar to Nagatoro in terms of just like the it's less extreme than that. It's not like as zany and comedy focused, obviously. There's not that much comedy, but it's a very good slice of life show, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's
Awesome.
what it's rated as. A very good slice of life romance show between the two characters.
Sometimes descriptions on the anime lists are weird and you're like, I don't know about this, but then the show ends up being great. So I'm glad we get another one of those because this isn't the first time where I've read a thing and I've been like, huh? But then the show ends up being good. So I'll check it out. I've
It might
had
not
this
appeal
one
that
just
much
in
to
the
you,
list
but
for
I
a
definitely
while.
think your wife would actually be pretty appealing, or it
Okay.
would appeal to her. So I think
Yeah,
there's
I'll
definitely
give it a
something
shot.
I would hit with women pretty well too. It's very, very cute. Very cute. Yeah, and
And then, of course,
Tomo-chan,
Tomo-chan.
it's very funny. It's cute. It has nice art. The characters have fun storylines they go through. They grow. They actually have pretty deep characterization. I think there's a lot of deep characterization with the main guy
Yeah,
in terms of because he's not that
he's a
oblivious.
lot less of a brick wall in the second episode than I was expecting.
And you could see this in the first episode too, which how they talk about what's her face, the friend talks about Tomo-chan to him.
Yeah,
Because you can see like he knows.
right.
But there's just more
there's
a lot more. He's been with her like their whole lives. There's a lot more feelings than just the romantic ones for him.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on between him and his relationship with Tomo. That's why it's kind of hard for him to change how he feels about her.
Exactly. But the reactions that he had, the comments that he was making, the thing like the way that he defended her on the train, the way he reacts to when she takes the shorts off, like the little things and like that where he actually reacts, I feel like take it to like an actual like, yes, he isn't just the blockhead who thinks she's one of the guys. Like it's very, very obvious. So it's that extra bit of being like, yeah, no, this is gonna be like a fun romance story, which makes me Um, concerned for how it may or may not end.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it did end. I'm pretty sure people liked the ending. So
Yeah,
yeah, I definitely feel positive towards it going forward. I think it's probably going to be like Love is War, and it's going to get adapted like multiple seasons.
perfect. Awesome.
I don't think. Oh yeah, for Tomo-chan, I don't think Carol is actually that's his. Um, they're not closely related at all. They're not cousins.
Yeah, and
They're
I
just
think
like
they're
technically part of. They're technically family.
right. In Japan, cousins is allowed. It's like Alabama
But they're not. They're not
of
that close.
Asia,
No,
but
they're
and they're
like
not even that
They are
close. So,
distant cousins.
and I think it was supposed to be a joke of like they used to play house as kids, like when they would hang out together. So it was less of a she loves him and more like she's so stupid she doesn't get that those were games as kids and not real life.
Yeah. I I was gonna say I think they're technically like related, but really their parents just also happen to know each other.
Yeah.
That's more so as like their parents just live next to each other.
Like distant like childhood friend. She's a
Yeah,
childhood friend
she's a childhood
character.
friend, but she's yeah the
They're just
familial
both
relation
blonde, so it
barely
throws you
exists.
off.
Yeah. And the one that surprised me the most, I thought this was going
Really?
to be a trash show. I didn't know who made it. I was unaware Mappa was making this.
Yeah.
I
That
thought it was
like
gonna be like down towards the bottom. I thought it was like, oh, this is gonna be one of those shows. It's gonna be garbage. The initial picture here, because I didn't watch the trailer. The initial picture is like, yeah,
it's
whatever.
so generic. You're
It's
like
so generic and
powerful
uninteresting.
dog, slime tamed, and I'm cooking stuff. Like,
It's
all
like,
right,
okay,
cool.
that's yeah, whatever. But the animation on this was supreme. The animation was really good. I thought the main character was like extremely smart.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
when you immediately get him being like the camera does that thing where it focuses on the king's rings and his belly and everything, and you're like, oh, we got us a wise boy. We got us a based anime protag
yeah,
here
like
who's like, whoa,
this guy's
the,
like tuned in. Like he's a very intelligent person. Most people wouldn't be this smart to think of something
yeah, they'd be
this
like,
way.
whoa, I'm in another world. What am I gonna do? And he's like, there's something fucked
That's not
up
even the
here.
wrong yeah, that's not even the wrong reaction because that's kind of crazy. That's a crazy situation you're in. But
Yeah,
he is instantly like analyzing this kind of stuff. He starts talking to people and learning more stuff about the world. He talks to the merchant and figures out like, oh wow, there's stuff going down here. I want to not
mm-hmm.
be part of this at all. And then he
Meeting people in a
realizes
bar.
once
Yeah.
people even when he learns that people get a small buff from his food, he's kind of terrified.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want people to know that I've got this power. You know,
Because
it's
he
really
doesn't know how special his power is, just like all these other kind of little bits he has that are special
yeah.
power to the world.
He's like playing it off. Like, what if someone had appraisal or what? You know, whatever that was. And he's like, oh, haha, it'd be great, right? Haha, yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, he's like trying to play cards close to chest. He wants to keep himself safe and keep not get involved with any of this stuff. He does not want to
Exactly.
be getting killed by a demon lord. He wants to avoid that more than anything.
He
He's
better start
especially doesn't want to
ANCAP.
be used by the royalty. He
Yeah.
does not want to be a slave because that's what they would do. Like he wouldn't be able to fight or anything. It doesn't look like he can. But they would make him a slave and force him to cook stuff so that people can get buffs. He knows that would happen, so he's very, very protective of it.
Right.
Yeah, it was really good.
But
First
now he
episode.
has like in first like I've only seen the first episode. I haven't watched the second one yet.
He
if
does
it's out.
tame the dog.
But yeah, he tames the not just the dog. He tames Fenrir, right? Like
Yeah.
what is that Norse god? Like
Yeah, he tamed a godly monster.
it's like okay, you wanted to lay low. Now what? So obviously
his
in like
plans
the
are thrown
thumbnail, the
away.
dog looks different. So we'll see.
No, that's the same dog.
Well, I feel like
Oh, that
it just
is Fenrir, yeah.
they looked a lot more menacing and huge. So I'm wondering if Fenrir has like a cuddly mode that it'll transform into for like
Maybe.
travel.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be hard for him because the protagonist is smart and the world seems kind of smart too.
Yep.
That's one thing that really intrigued me is the world seems very intelligent. Seems like this show had a good writer behind it.
Mm-hmm.
This show had a person who is creative and wants to try stuff and knows what they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah. And Trigun Stampede, we move on to now.
Exactly.
I thought it was great. I really loved the first episode. Made a comment on it like last week or whatever.
Yep.
I just kind of loved everything about it. I cut together a little video because I was like, I like this. I might as well make it about this one because there's some stuff I really liked, like the music. I was like, I want to put this up here. Oh yeah, YouTube's a bitch. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, no, you've got to reverse it, add snow. Yeah,
Add
you got to play with it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't really care that much. Just like I got done what I wanted to get done. I'm fine with where it is. I'll do some other stuff. Yeah, I really love that first episode. Don't have any connection to the first one. And yeah, it very much impressed me.
I'm so interested to see how they've retooled the story because, like again, usually when we get these sort of remakes, that we get the remake because they can do it closer to the manga because like, oh, the manga's done now. We can do the story a little bit tighter adaptation, but it's wildly different adaptation.
Yeah,
So
this is just like
even if
totally
you know the
original
manga,
stuff.
you have no idea where this is really gonna go.
Yeah, it's like a very, very original story based on the original Trigun.
Yeah, so I'm excited for originality. Like I said, I'll be interested to see how they either play up or don't play up certain twists and plot reveals that come later. And I'm really interested to see sort of how both you and my wife haven't seen the original, so how you guys react to some of the like revealed explanations.
Yeah, I really loved Trigun Stampede the first episode. I actually did not like second episode at all. Second episode was way worse.
Gotcha.
Oh, the second episode had a lot of I had a lot of problems with what they were doing in the second episode there. We'll go over like a little bit of short bit of the plot synopsis for this. So basically the little thing that keeps the town alive is still broken. They don't know how they're gonna fix that. Either they need Vash to pull something out of his ass, or they decide they're gonna turn him in.
Yeah.
They decide they don't really have any other choice. They're gonna try to catch him and turn him in because they're like they don't know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
I assume a bunch of the leaders got together and they're like, I don't see how we could possibly fix this. We just need a lot of money. That's the only thing we can do. So they decide we're gonna go for our only shot we think we have.
Yeah,
I'm okay with the town turning on him in this way, even though they saved him. I think
that
that's
how
actually
it ends, or did they actually get?
Oh, this is the start of the second episode. This is the start of the second episode.
Okay.
Yeah, the town turns on him. I think this is reasonable enough, even though he's done that. I think that's pretty realistic. In times of crisis, people are gonna make decisions that aren't good ones. They know that this is the wrong thing to do, but they don't think they can do anything else.
They get real utilitarian in those situations.
I don't even think that's an unreasonable take for them to think they can't. But yeah, he ends up being able to escape town just barely. But as he's escaping town, the Nebraskas show up, which is a father and son duo, which is like a giant Frankenstein monster kind of son.
Okay.
They end up arriving in town right as he's trying to get out of there and confronting like the bar lady.
Yeah.
And trying to escape. And set up a little bit earlier, her son is just kind of out there, just hanging around, just off to the side, because he's just kind of watching what's going on. And as the Rascals are coming in, they're coming right for her boy, and they're gonna smush him in their car. They're just the big tank thing that's got coming, and she cares way more about her son than trying to capture Vash, so she jumps for him, and Vash also cares, so he jumps to save her. And that definitely changes her mind for a little bit, but he also wants to not get killed by the Nebraska, so he decides to run away. He has a little bird, one of the like walking bird things with those. I assume the police guys had, like the officer guys had.
The ostrich things?
Yeah, the ostrich things. I assume those things got left in town as they fled or something, like the one main guy or whatever. They got captured and stuff like that. I assume that was probably theirs. That's where he got it from. Yeah, he runs off so that they can chase him because they're also going for that bounty because they know he's there. They heard about it from like comments on the radio. They want the money. They're going after him. So they're like, oh yeah, we're going after him. They don't care about the town. They do a little bit of chase. I think in the episode, there wasn't really as good animation in the first one. Not at all. It just wasn't. It didn't hold up as well for me. That's why I didn't. That's one reason I didn't like it as well, because the superb animation is a large draw for me of why it was so, why I liked it so much. Obviously, there's other stuff. It's not just that, but that was the thing that
But to
made it
have it look
better.
that good really helps you
Yeah,
enjoy watching it,
yeah,
right?
because just the visual treat for the eyes is very much can keep you engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it didn't really have it in this episode because a lot of it was the desert, and the
Huh.
desert isn't pretty. That was actually one of the criticisms I did have for is the desert isn't pretty. At least they don't make it pretty either. They make it's a
Ooh.
very, very basic desert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're
Yeah. No,
it's not like
I get
it's not like
you.
the Badlands where they have cool stuff going on and stuff like that. It's like it's a desert. So yeah,
Right.
when you spend half the episode in the desert and it's just not that cool. It's not like anything crazy happening there. They're just in the desert.
Hmm.
He ends up they're chasing him. Their car breaks down. They keep trying to chase him by shooting grapple arms from the Nebraska Junior. That's apparently part of his power.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a basic desert. How else do you want me to describe it? He's like,
I-
oh, it's like the Serengeti. It's less like the Sahara.
No, it's like Arizona before people.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they can't burn the budget in every episode, but it's still not as good as you'd be expecting.
Right.
Because I mean, that's part of what's going to keep you in it. Obviously, I think they'll do better in later episodes, and I'll be keeping on to see how it goes there.
You'll be able to
But
tell when like an important plot point is coming because suddenly it'll get really good.
The one thing that's really strange to me though is they know the Nebraskans aren't going to be able to catch them anymore. They have them in a pretty good situation where Vash could decide to try to kill them, but because they're also mass murderers, they killed 69 people. We heard on the beginning of the episode on the radio about them. We heard just a little bit. It's like the Nebraskas killed 69, attempted murder of 12 others.
Right.
So we know these people are evil.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of like trying to stop them and not just like protect the townspeople from them, they decide to just keep running. Or Vash wants to keep running away. Well, they turn around and they're like, you know, that town has like a reactor core thing, like a nuclear reactor we could just steal. So after they fail to catch Vash, they just turn around and go back for the town.
Huh.
And
Okay.
it really confuses me how Vash could possibly not just try to stop them.
Hmm.
I think there's a pretty big flaw. For when he has a chance to try to fight them and stop them, and he doesn't, and then they go on to do more bad things after. I really dislike that in a show. When the protagonist, you can have a no-kill clause. You can want to not kill people, but you probably should value protecting people over not killing.
Hmm.
And when you're trying to protect a person who's killed 69 people over some other people who have done bad things and making hard choices, I don't think that's equivalent. And unfortunately, we see more of that later in the episode because Vash goes back to save the town from them as they barge in. Apparently, don't kill anybody, but they manage to steal the core. And we get to the point where Vash comes up to confront them, and he doesn't want to shoot his gun at them, obviously, because it's going to destroy the core, first of all, because they're like sitting right next to it. You shoot it once, it goes kablooey. That's very bad. But
is that kind of where it ends, or does it just sort of like,
no? We get a conclusion of this fight,
okay.
But I'm just like, I don't really like the idea that he doesn't. It's not just that he doesn't want to shoot that, but he doesn't want to kill them either. He wants them to live as well, and I feel like that's very strange in this situation.
So happy that this is what you think as you're watching it, because this is a very key tenet in Vash as a character. So if they're getting you to be like, why just protect the village, just do the thing you need to do to make sure that more people don't die.
I feel like
we're only on the second episode. I'm very happy that you're already getting into that part of the Vash character.
Yeah, because I really think there is a point where you can't keep your pacifist philosophy. There's a point where you have to make your choice and do something. Do you actually care about saving the people more? You could say that you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is a point where you have to make a hard choice that you don't like.
Yep.
And he was able to avoid that here very, very closely. In the fight, he's able to win just barely. And it ends up there in a pretty precarious spot on a cliff. And starts breaking, and the core is gonna fall over. The big boy, he makes a great play. He's going for the game-winning touchdown, but he doesn't quite make it. He gets caught. He just starts falling over the edge. And Vash is trying to save him. And he's insanely strong. You know, it's kind of funny. He's a very much a superhuman, but he can't do it alone. He has to convince the townspeople to help him, and obviously they don't want to because they killed a bunch of people. They stole their core, almost got away with it.
Exactly.
But there is the connection between the fact that the lady cares about her son, and the older Nebraskan very much wants to save his son. He cares a lot about his son too.
Yep.
And I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point to play off of, to have the connection between them. They are, even if they're evil people, otherwise it would really just be two people trying to make their way in the world, trying to care about their own family. And that can be a fair connection point between them, even if they're not equivalent. I don't like that it is kind of played as equivalence, but I can understand what they're saying here. And I think that's fair enough to be like, to get over their differences and see like, this is just another person here, and we're gonna save their life because they're human.
This is exactly what my concern was, and you have alleviated all of my concern with the.
You think they're doing this correctly?
This is exactly what you should be feeling when you're watching Trigun.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're feeling that, the fact that you're contesting it, the fact that you're like, no, just do the like, and you're like questioning why you would do this and how you would do this. Like in the original, I know how it gets explained. I don't know if it'll be the same way in this remake.
I assume this core philosophy behind Vash should be the same. I think that's going to be the main thing they're going to carry over. I assume that's going to be like the heart of the show, and that's like going to be the main thing that we're basing this off of.
I guess I just don't know how they'll go about it, but the fact that you're sort of grappling with those ideas of like, how can Vash be this stupid? He can't be this dumb. He can't be this airheaded. He can't be this lovey-dovey. The love and peace thing. What, like, he can't, like, no human could be this way. What is he like? What's wrong with him? That puts him in this state. That's exactly where you should be when you're watching the show.
This seems like something a lot of modern anime have tried to follow.
Yeah,
it seems like something that's this is overly prevalent in modern anime, and there isn't really good answers for it. So I'm very willing to see if there is actually good answers in character development for Vash on this path.
Awesome. I'm very pleased right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the episode ends. They end up saving him. I'm not like entirely okay with him like just getting over it, but the way they present it is like, I'll go with it for now. Yeah.
Awesome. And then of course you've got Vinland Saga up there, and you're 9.5 out of 10.
Amazing. Yeah, Vinland Saga is amazing. Everybody should watch Vinland Saga. What do you get up here? This is like the kind of thing I'll recommend. Everybody recommend everybody. Yeah. The romantic comedy ones a little bit less so, because
you have to at least like anime to like that category, the 8.5, 9 category. But I think anyone could watch Vinland Saga and be like, damn, this is good.
Yeah, like I think anyone can watch Vinland Saga and love it. I think this could appeal to anyone very much. And it's just like one of my favorites. When it's that good, I think a lot of people will come out of this and say like, that was good.
Very, very good.
Yeah. Now this episode 2, somebody mentioned before, I don't remember exactly who it was, but it is anime original. This episode is anime original. And we're basically seeing the backstory of this second character we're going to get to know quite a bit later. Or not quite a bit later, but we get to see more of in the manga. We're actually getting his backstory now when we didn't get it before, I believe. He's an important character for this second season. He's going to be like the duotagonist with, what was his name? I forgot the main character's name.
Wait.
Yeah, the main character in Vinland, the boy.
I'm just going to look it up. I don't remember.
Yeah, basically he's gonna be with him the whole time.
Thorfinn.
Yeah, Thorfinn. He's gonna be with Thorfinn for the whole season, pretty much. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good show. It's gonna continue to be a really good show. They had a lot of great environmental work in this first episode. really good job of setting the tone and seeing just because he was English. The guy that we're looking at in the first episode here is English, an Englishman who had his village raided by Vikings. His dad died initially, and then later on his village was raided again, and both his sister and his mother die.
Right.
Yeah, and then he is taken as a slave, and that's where he ends up meeting Thorfinn back. I think it's Denmark. I think they both got taken as slaves back to Denmark.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think they got taken as slaves, and now they're working on a farm together. Yeah, we got to see some of his backstory, how he feels about things, and him coming around to being like, if I have a good slave, if I have a good master, I can survive being a slave and just doing my farm work every day, just having a nice meal and a good warm place to sleep. I can be okay with this.
Right.
Just coming to terms with his situation, where try to just make the best out of a bad situation. Because overall, living as a farm slave is worse than just like being able to tend your own farm, but it's not as bad as it could be.
Right.
Yeah, just stuff like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, there's not too much to say on it yet because it's tone setting is not like the end of the first season. There's not action happening.
Right.
It's
the
not,
beginning of a second season. You've got to like reintroduce a little bit of action, reintroduce some characters.
there isn't actually any action really in the first episode.
Oh, really? Not
I mean, there's obviously some people dying, but it's not like there's a fight.
You get a little something.
There's not a fight going on. It's people getting
murdered. there's enough things.
It's
swords swing, and then you sort of
Oh,
set up like what
swing.
this next arc is gonna be about.
We're just setting up the tragic backstory for this guy and just like how he doesn't have anything. Like he doesn't have anything left. He doesn't even have a reason to run away as a slave. He tries to run away once, but then he's like, who would I even talk to? What would I even be running back to? He doesn't even have something to strive for. He doesn't have anything to live for.
Right.
He's just himself. He doesn't have anybody. There's nobody waiting back for him home. He doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
It's just really setting that up in his hopelessness and just like he doesn't have anything.
Just dive into it.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was my whole thing. I already watched some episode 2s. I already got some movers. I already got
we're moving and shaking.
Yeah, moving and shaking. Yeah, this is looking to be a fun season of anime.
It's a winter season and it's already this fantastic. I'm shocked. I was expecting, as we were going through what was coming in the winter, to drop half my list by the first episode.
Yeah, I got like 8 shows that I'm gonna finish this season, guaranteed. I have 8 shows that I very much like that I'm gonna finish. I know I'm gonna finish.
Yeah, and
that's very good.
seven drops. I think I'm probably in like a 5 drop category. I think either this week or next week I'll go through and do my first drop episode.
Let's start marking all of these off that are getting dropped right here.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna keep going. It's not gonna stop. All these are getting dropped.
Just keep whacking them off. I'll be surprised to see what you keep from like 5 and below, if anything gets like actually finished.
Right now, this one is the one, because it's already moving up. This is the one that's gonna stay on right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, the angel that came down to me, or the angel that's like pampers me or whatever. It's getting late. Forgetting the words.
The angel next door treats me too nicely.
Yeah, that one's gonna keep up. The cool female colleague, that one's gonna keep up.
I'm just waiting for the episode where he drills a hole in the wall between their apartments.
Mm-hmm. Basically, everything below Revenger is stuff that's going to get the 3 episodes, and then we'll make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Everything past that, like these next couple ones, are going to get some more episodes. Basically, the ones after that, let's get a different color here, actually. Yeah, basically the ones that are like up here, these ones get some more episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these ones get some more chances.
And everything above that's like a guaranteed.
Like Bofuri, I don't think I'm gonna drop.
Just shits the bed. Like it would have to really shit the bed. It would have to pull an uncle to
Yeah.
like not finish it.
It has to be
It just stops
unfinishable.
coming out.
It has to be unfinishable for you to not watch it. Yeah, because I'm quite excited for these. These are ones that not as much as the ones on the top, but ones I liked. Ones I'm expecting I'll finish. And then the ones below that, those are the ones that I'll give a chance to. I'll give a chance to keep watching. Less likely I'll
Awesome.
finish.
Makes sense.
I will put another one. I'll post my next one when I watch 3 episodes of everything.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. I'll do my drops this week and next week, and then we'll hit 3 episodes of everything. We can do another tier list.
Yeah.
I love these. I love getting that extra perspective. I mean, like, you're in that like middle ground where you're like you're younger than me, but you're also like older than like most Zoomers. So like,
Well, I think I'm older than
this,
all Zoomers. I had my birthday, so I'm 25.
are you the youngest millennial? Is that your category?
Probably. I could be the
Okay.
oldest Zoomer, youngest millennial. I'm not some weird millennial that feels old yet, so I'm not gonna try to say I'm a millennial. I'm actually the between generation person. No, I was like, it doesn't really matter what generation you're in. It's just
No,
like,
but it's
it really
a
matters who you
perspective,
grew up
right?
with. I
For me,
definitely
it's
grew
like,
up more with.
how much internet did you grow up with? That's usually where
That changes a
it
lot.
marks for me.
I would say I did grow up more with the Zoomer like mindset and internet usage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of the age
Because
of the
to me,
millennial,
it's like
but yeah,
a
internet usage more
Zoomer.
of a Zoomer.
A Zoomer's internet has always been on the phone. I think that's sort of where the distinction comes. Whereas like, there's like, for me, that older millennial where like I grew up with no internet and then I got internet, and then there's people who grew up like with you where you always had like internet practically.
Yeah, basically since I was like conscious,
But
had
at least you
internet.
had internet on like a computer, and
Yeah.
then you saw like internet on phones more widespread, right?
Yeah, I was a teenager when phone internet was available.
There you go. Whereas like for me, a Zoomer's then that next level where like they've always had mobile phone internet. So
Yeah.
the idea of like being in a random place and Googling something on their phone, like there's still times where I'll be like out with like my parents or something, and they'll ask a question and I'll just Google it and tell them the answer, and they're like, "Oh, of course, just freaking Google it," because they don't think that way first. But like a Zoomer will Google it before they even ask it at the dinner table, right? Very, very different.
Yeah.
Anyway, awesome. This was a great show. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'm happy to come on anytime. If I'll
I'm
see
gonna
you at
hide your-
least on Friday, unless you cancel.
Yeah. Unless I cancel. I was all excited because I was like, oh, things are getting submitted. LNI has my approved plan. Like my plans got the approval stamp, and then they went to LNI, and I was like, okay, do I schedule my inspection now for them to come inspect the trailer? And they were like, no, you just got the professional approval. Now you need LNI approval. And I was like, the fuck did I get its professional approval for? Like, what?
What does that
what do you
even
mean?
Does that do
Anyway, so-
anything?
Apparently it means I go faster. So rather than have an LNI person who has to like really dig in, they just look at the approval stamp and say,
that's
yes, this
great.
was approved. Let me approve it again. So hopefully it goes faster, but it's just like, why? Why am I still waiting? Anyway, so still doing streams until I can't. So that'll be there. What are you excited to watch this week? Let's end on a fun, hopeful note.
Which one did I have on my next one? Oh, actually, I should talk about the one that didn't actually make the list. The one that
there
came
you
out
go.
after, which was the Fire Hunter. It had a very cool. It had a very cool art style.
The hell's Fire Hunter?
Yeah,
Who
it was
has
called
that?
the Fire Hunter. I think it's on Crunchyroll actually. You can play the trailer muted probably. Let me
Kari no O.
Yeah, let me put it in the chat here because you should be able to play this muted, I assume. Maybe in like a small corner, and maybe it'll work.
Oh wait, no, yes, I do remember. We talked about this one. Okay, yes, it's on Crunchyroll. This is
Is
the
it?
one where I was making fun of it for being like another version of Promare or Fire Force or
Yeah,
Attack
I don't
on
think it's like
Titan, the
that
Fire
actually.
Beasts. Like,
Yeah, I'll summarize it. Which is humanity's last war ended with them being unable to be near fire. If a person is now near fire, they will instantly combust and die. So fire is deadly to like not just like deadly, but it literally kills you if you're near fire. So humans can't use fire anymore. They had to come up with magic's like weird kinds of things to have heat source.
mhm.
Yeah, and like they have this old technology style. And then there's these like steam-ish looking machines, like these giant train tanks that go around because it's extremely dangerous world. You know,
Right.
fire hunters and stuff that try to go. I don't actually know what they do. You didn't get to see that much. Most of the first episode was focused on just like the girl and that fact she's going to be leaving her village because she saw a fire hunter die in front of her who's saving her life from a big monster. And
Gotcha.
she's stuck with the fire hunter's weapon and his dog. In the first episode, she doesn't
Very
like just come
interesting.
out. She's not like an isekai protagonist. She's just a little girl. She doesn't. She's not like a combatant. She doesn't know
Huh.
how to swing a sword. She doesn't know how to do anything really. She was like a small time laborer because she's a child.
Yeah,
And
no,
now
this is
she has to go out into the world that she
it also
doesn't
has
know.
like that real oh, what the heck do you call this art style? It had some really popular shows in the late 80s that kind of followed this same sort of
I don't
pencil
exactly remember
work.
what it's called, but I like the style. It looks really
Yeah.
nice. Like, make sure you watch it in high definition. Like, you should watch most anime. Like, lots of anime doesn't really matter because it looks like garbage. Most anime just like has a terrible art style that it really doesn't matter if you're watching 480p or 1080p. It just isn't interesting. Like, there's a lot of just like really generic basic anime that like
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. You can watch it on your
You
phone in
know what it
garbage
looks
quality.
like even if it's not clear, yeah.
But this looks like a movie quality because it has just such detailed, nice art.
Awesome.
It is super well drawn, and just the environments are really cool. It has interesting stylization too. You can see like the wolf and the bear that he fights initially, or whatever that creature is. They have
Mhm.
some very cool designs, like with how they draw the bear. And it's just like not. It's kind of uncanny, but I don't think it uses CG. It's just the way they draw it is very cool.
Interesting. But uncanny, but also cool. That I'm excited. I'm excited. I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's just like it's not traditional because it's something we don't see nowadays. They don't draw stuff like this anymore,
No.
really.
No,
The style
this is
is
very
not
unique.
modern. Yeah, it very much stands as something an anime out of time.
It feels like when somebody, like some famous director, is like, I'm going to shoot this new movie on film. And they like release a movie on film, and you're like, there's something different with this movie. You can actually like tell that it's a little different. So, very exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very slow anime. I might actually recommend people just like check out the first little bit and then
And
and
then
try to
wait
binge
for
like
it.
all of it
Okay.
because it's gonna very much be slow pace. There's not gonna be any comedy. It's not gonna be like in high
It's not going
intensity.
to be a weekly zeitgeist where everybody's like, oh my gosh, did you see the.
There's not really going to be cliffhangers, doesn't seem like. I don't think there's going
Okay.
to be like cliffhangers trying to hook you on the next episode. It's going to be a good continuous story.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Very
hyped about
fun.
that one. I gave it a 7.5. I thought it was pretty good. I would rate it pretty highly. Yeah, you'll see that on the next tier list there.
Awesome. 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 All
Yeah, and
right.
that is all the anime I watched.
That is all the anime, period. We
That is a
watched
lot of
all the.
anime, yeah. Like I mentioned, I specifically skipped the 2 game ones. I'm not even planning to play Trails of Cold Steel or anything, but I am planning to play Nier, so I'm not gonna watch that one.
Ah, yeah. And at first I was like, that's kind of a weird stance to have. But after watching the first episode, and it literally is the tutorial, I was like, yeah, no, you're gonna want to pick the medium that you want to experience this story in. Like, if you want to play the game, don't watch the anime until you play the game.
'Cause I heard
But
there's a
if
lot of like weird things about the game. That I was like, oh, okay, so I'll play it.
yeah,
Like weird
the
story
game is
stuff.
really interesting, both from a like the narrative is fun, and also for me it does sort of what like a lot of people say it's the Dark Souls of blah de blah, but for me like Dark Souls, part of what made that interesting was that like the death mechanic is integrated into the world and makes sense in the narrative. So anytime you die, it's not like, oh, game over, and then you're sort of brought out of the game. Like dying is like part of the game.
Like that's what's literally happening in the world. That's in
Exactly.
the
There's
universe.
something
Every
that
death is
happens in the
canon.
universe. So
Yeah, every death is
um,
canon because like you literally die and you just are reborn because that's what's happening to you.
exactly. So near doing that was really impressive for me, and then the story was a fun way to go about an old tale. I would say, and like the game mechanics over the entire thing are just a constant like learning curve. Very very fun to be a part of. Like the best part of most games is when you're like experiencing new things and trying to figure out how they work and how to do them. And Nier does it the whole time. It's amazing.
Yeah, we can definitely address these two. You do see 2B's panties a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
A lot, actually.
I posted them on my Twitter.
Yeah, you do that. And anime about the Oregon Trail. The guy said that their journey through the forest takes about 6 months to go from where they are to back to the capital. So yeah, they're basically always on the Oregon Trail because there's always dangerous creatures out in the wild they need to fight off.
Nice.
And the guy running the train didn't want to cut it. Like he didn't want to like soften the blow for the girl. It's like she could easily die on the journey. She might not survive. It's very dangerous. I
Gotcha.
assume lots of guys die on the journey to and from. So yeah, it's a
All
very
right.
dangerous world. And the fire hunter specifically, yeah. Yeah. That's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you as always for popping in, bringing insight and information and anime reviews. My favorite part was Soranos explains Trigun. That was my favorite part of the evening.
Yeah,
But
'cause, I mean, there's a lot to talk about Trigun. There's a lot of stuff going on. That's definitely
yeah.
why I also like it. Is like there's a lot of stuff going on with it. There's a lot more than
100%.
just surface level thoughts.
No, and that's what when I was a kid and people were making fun of because back in my day you got teased for watching anime. That was the thing that always got me through was like, but this is way more interesting and more involved, and I can think about the show when I'm done with the show. I'm not just like watching a show and then moving on to the next show. It's like there's some story here that is something I can learn and sort of bring into some part of my life or take a lesson out of it, right?
Yeah,
And
like
it's not like this
you
is
put
the
something like a
lesson.
Trigun, you put something like a Neon Genesis Evangelion, you put any of those classic anime. You can't compare those to like a Western cartoon. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They did not make cartoons like they made anime back in the day. They were not
Exactly.
similar. Nowadays, you can get more story focused stuff. You can get long cartoons that are really good, but it did not exist back in the day. There's no
No.
comparison to anime.
Now, were they still fun? Sure, but like
Yeah, they are not the same
watching
thing at all.
Dexter's Lab is not like watching Cowboy Bebop. They like one of those will teach you about life, and the other one will show
Hey,
you.
we're not
that
just talking
Dexter's
about
mom be
maturity.
thick. That's
we're not just talking about maturity. We're talking about like everything. They did not make shows the same way. They were completely different focus.
100%. All right. Well, that is going to do it for me for tonight. I had a wonderful time. Thank you for joining the Escape Corner. I will catch you all tomorrow for a titillating Tuesday of some type. I don't know what it'll be about yet, other than anime I happen to be watching. Dexter's mom taught you many things, Blaine. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, always a blast to have you here. Everyone, have a wonderful evening. Kampai.